words and opinions you are about to hear are of the hosts and do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of Cave Radio Broadcasting.
Check. Yeah, there you go. Check. Check. A little bit.
Did that work for you? Just a nice big.
I don't hear. Yeah,
Bloody
I'm not
Mary
hearing
burp?
him at all.
I don't hear myself in my earphones at all.
No.
But that's not. I'm good.
No, twist.
I'm still good.
Go
I'm still
all
good.
the way.
I'm still chatty. Still chat. There I am.
See?
I can. Well, I did, and then I didn't. Now I can barely hear myself. But as long as you can hear me over there, it's fine.
No, I still can't. I can barely hear me. Hello. Oh, I hear a crackle.
I'm trying to
I know.
Welcome, everybody, to Big and Bigger here on Cave Radio Broadcasting.
200.
Good morning.
I feel like I've been saying that for like 200 weeks.
I've been waiting for 200 weeks.
I know, for like 200 weeks.
Well,
Here we are.
199. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
week.
Here we are.
So, congratulations, Big Al,
what
for
I do?
being with me for almost 5 years now.
Well, we're not having sex, and that's. I
Well,
think that's the key.
I think it is.
That we don't have sex, and therefore we get along.
We cohabitate
I
well.
bet you guys are right.
Right. So, 200 episodes in, and I still don't know Al's middle name.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cheers.
What is it?
I'm not going to tell you now. You're going to have to
I got to work.
investigative
I gotta
journalism
work
here.
for it. Back on November 7th of 2014, it was actually November 7th was our first episode, but we actually did a trial run on October 31st. It was Halloween night. We did a trial run. It was episode 0. It was me, you, and Nick Malamas
Yep.
in here, and we just kind of hung out and bullshitted, and we were like, yeah, we can do this. And then his abs going to talk?
Wow, this is awesome.
We're going to talk Joe Jabber's
Oh, by the way,
balls.
everybody wave to the camera. We're
Excellent timing.
Humming.
We are Facebook Live. So if you guys want to go to the Cave Radio page and share this amazing
Share
event,
away.
we are broadcasting for the 200th time here on the Cave Radio Broadcasting airwaves. Like I said, November 7th, 2014 was the very first episode of Big and Bigger. We had Joe Jabber in the house, who's sitting to my right. Why is it not?
Things happen.
Yeah, Joe Jabber,
Things happen.
and then we also had Mark Pasman in here.
That's right.
Mark Pasman, I had known from my time at Specs Howard. Yep, there it is, right there. Okay, at my time at Specs Howard, and he was gracious enough to come in and hang out with us that night. Him and Jimmy Pickles hung out, and we had a good time. Joe Jabber and Sharon.
Yeah.
Was your first backup singer?
Yep.
Bring that mic to you, man.
What's going on?
Yeah, it was.
There you go.
You guys got to hear my voice on this.
So that was like I said,
Are we
November.
missing chairs, or what's going on here?
I have no idea what's happening.
I think.
Yeah,
Well,
we're just accommodating the band, you know. Squeeze everybody
Mark's
in.
using 2 over there for his
Oh, okay.
little
Yeah.
rig setup. So, yeah. So 200. Oh man, Eric.
First time.
Wow.
You just broadcast yourself with the sound on.
Well, I know I had the sound off. but
200.
As we discovered last week, if you
Reset the board.
if you start a watch party, it automatically starts with the sound on, and you got to turn it down.
Get the
So,
watch party.
Hey.
So-
Is it on delay or I'm not moving?
No, it's on delay. It's on delay.
it's about a
Because I was like,
about
okay.
a 15-second delay.
let me see what happens later. It's like the Matrix.
So the other day, I went through every single show. I didn't go through audibly. I just went through visually and looked at all the shows and wrote down from episode number 1 all the way through episode number 199 who has been on our show. I'm not going to name all of them because I didn't write down a lot of them because there was like secondary guests and stuff like that I didn't bring on.
So how many bands total? Not counting repeats, but how many different
we've
bands?
had 145 different bands on Big and Bigger.
Wow.
From
Nice
the-
work, guys.
From the Metro Detroit area, that includes Port Huron, Lansing, Flint, Grand Rapids, and Canada, because we've had
Autumn Kings.
Autumn Kings.
Yep.
We're in.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
eh?
sorry. Oh, she going, eh?
So we've had frequent guests besides myself and Big Al as the hosts for the entire 5 years, or almost 5 years, 200 episodes. Dawn joined us on 3/18/16. It was episode number 57. We had Harlow was our guest that night.
They were.
Harlow was our guest that night. They are they are our third most populous band that's been on. They've been on 3 times. The Gypsies have been on 4 times. Joe Jabber has been here.
Wait, what's my birthday?
You're 3/18 or 3/18.
3/18.
It's not dumb shit with Dawn yet. Just
I'm just asking. I'm trying to remember. A date.
Joe Jabber. This marks Joe Jabber's 5th appearance
God.
here on Big and Bigger.
Big and bigger whore.
Jason Lunguski.
Yeah.
Jason
Come
Lunguski, Mike's old bandmate from the Split, has also been on here 5 times. Hillbilly Knife Fight, Bang Shifter, Detroit Trouble, Spiral Crush. Spiral Crush has been in here 4 times. 3 as a band playing, 1 as a just a guest. They came in. One time they brought their own board and equipment and everything. And
Yeah, well, that was before we mic'd everything.
right,
We were just
David
doing the
Hooper. That
tables.
was the time David Hooper met them. David Hooper is a show host here at Cave Radio, and he was like, swear to God, he was like laying underneath the drum kit to
You'd have
get
thought
like
they were
a,
shooting a music video.
yeah, it was so fucking funny, man. The shit he was like getting right up on their guitar, and it was funny. So I'm just going to kind of run through this real quick. Joe Jabber and Mark Pasman, of course, were our first guest. The second show was Nadir, Volcano, Chris Spooner, and DJ
was that
Ray
the-
7. That was the rap battle.
That was the second
That
show?
was the second show.
Wow, I was surprised we had a third show after that.
Then we had Maggie Coco, Rebecca Kennedy, Bristol Street, Carrie Lynn Roche, and Brian Riley, who fills in on drums for you, or is he your drummer?
He's my drummer now.
Is he your drummer?
Yep.
Yeah.
And my producer.
There you go. The Creeping Chaos, Bobby Amaru from Saliva, Joey Gatos Jr., who we won't talk about him. Grand Circus.
What was
Okay, now I want to know.
Hold on.
He's in a little trouble.
So listen to the very next guest. So we had Grand Circus in the house. They've been on twice. Then we had the DXC Fighters in here with Joe Battaglia and Dr. Patino,
Right.
who is our second guest to be in jail.
I think that tells us who the first one was.
From Folsom. Little hand clap from Folsom.
Joey
explains the
Gatos Jr.
unspoken- yeah.
Joey Gatos Jr. would be the second one, who's currently in jail in Florida for
He's in jail for what?
stealing
Yeah.
guitars.
Wow.
He
and
developed a
pawning
bit of a
them.
problem.
It was he had a little bit of a issue. Yeah.
So like it would happen. Would it like at the gigs like other bands that he was? Wow.
2 of them came from like a Guitar Center too, I think.
The guy that was in School of Rock.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So anyway, that's
Wow.
enough gossip. Then we had Harlow, who's been in here, like I said, 3 times. Stephanie Christian and Cool Beans, Spiral Crush, Howard Hertz, David Hooper, White Shag, the Mike Ferguson Band, Ominous Presence, the Arcades Project the second time, and they had Dead by Designs Jay in here that night. Faster Taxi showed up. They've also been here 3 times. Shotgun Soul, but the Buffalo Riders. It wasn't Nina. Remember, Nina
Right.
wasn't here the first time. It was just the Buffalo Riders. Then they came back as a full band. C.J. Pierce, the guitar player for Drowning Pool. Mabel Syrup and Valencia Starling, which Mabel Syrup is a clown, burlesque,
Yeah.
and it's
What does burlesque really mean?
like
raunchy?
It's kind of like,
stripping
like
without stripping.
stripping with class.
It's like the minor
Yes.
league stripping.
Okay.
You know? It's like the minors.
She was
Okay.
very pregnant when she was here too, with twins.
That was the second time. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was the second time.
There was no
Yeah, she has
demonstration in studio either.
No,
which I
no,
wanna
no, no.
point out.
She has
She
twin
didn't
clowns now.
I was hoping there would be, and there wasn't. So.
Then Xander made his first appearance, which he's been on here 6 times. He is our number 1 guest, besides Augie. Augie's
Yeah, I
been
can't
here-
count anymore though. Right?
Well, yeah, because you're part of the show now.
Yeah.
So.
I was probably here a good 5-6 times before I became a part of the show, which is why you made me part of the show. You're like, you're here enough anyway.
Right.
Might as well just start showing up once a
Right.
month. We'll plan some shit around you.
We got Fathom City, who's been in here 3 times also. That's another one of the bands. 10 points of acid damage. Off the Ledge, who's been in here twice. Your bandmate, Chrissy Morgan's band, Bricktown Station. Jeff Aaron Price, who plays the electric fiddle or the electric cello. Cello. He was in here with Kendrick Hardaway. The Crayfish Hunters. Washboard Floyd, and there was a bunch of comedians. Let's see here. Then we had the birthday for Kelly. Was Wolf Kelly, Mike Leslie, Joe Allen, and D. Ali all in here. Where
And
they
that
started
dude.
taking their shirts
Oh
off.
my
and
God.
And that dude,
Yeah.
that dude. 6 months gone. F. Patrick James, who brought in Citizen Zero's Sammy Bowler and the drummer, and Sammy Bowler literally raped the guitar that was laying on the thing. Literally, the Reverend played it till it bled. It was amazing. Xander, Michigan also made an appearance on that show. Horse Cave Trio, they've been here twice. Jimmy Bones, Tino was a call-in guest for the first time. Hillbilly Knife Fight was here that night. Here We Harbor was our 50th episode. Caleb Gutierrez, Cool Beans and Awesome Sauce. The Native Howl, which was their first appearance on our show, and they rocked it. The Tracksuit Party, the very first time, 3/25/16. Was when Augie and the guys made their appearance here. That was also when Dawn told us about her kidnapping story, where she was kidnapped for 15 seconds. Roxadillion.
It's a little longer than that.
It was.
but
It was.
I was.
It was like 35 seconds, maybe a minute and a half total.
Your stepdad is pretty fast.
Yeah.
It was about 20 minutes. And that's
And
it.
he must be slow runner. Anyway, because I got the audio. I don't have it right now, but I got the audio.
It's admissible in court, too, by the way.
The Split made
Oh,
their
yeah.
first appearance on Big and Bigger way back when in 2016. Wayne, the bass player from Saliva, Mercy Beach, episode or Cadre, Hot Ugly, M102, the White Lightning Supremes, Georgia Need, and the Long Neck Bottles. Or
Are you going through the all 200?
no, there's not 200. I told you, I got them all.
There's only 199 that he's going through.
Hollywood the Gun, Stoned in Hell.
They're
That was when
repeats.
my man Dave Santia painted that portrait of Kid Rock. In
Right.
like
That
3
was
minutes.
badass. I
Upside down.
see
5
him
minutes.
a lot.
Wait,
it's
was
some-
I counted on that one? Because I was here.
Yeah, you were here.
Okay, was that one of my 5?
That was one of your 5.
Okay, that's double checking.
That was a crazy show, wasn't it?
Elise Binks or Elsie Binks, Stone Clover brought a keg
Yes.
in here, and we
Oh,
got all
Paulie
fucked
Brady.
up. Yeah.
I purposely move it so I'm not here at the same time as Paulie Brady because I
Right.
love him to death, and it's too many personalities. It's just
Yeah.
you can't. He's got to let Paulie be Paulie.
Wilder, Righteous Through God with David Winans. That was one of his 3 appearances in here. Intergalactic Bounty Hunters.
Oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah, Melvin Davis and Joe Pep and Drew Schultz, which is by far one of my favorite shows ever. Trip and Dixie showed up right after they played Arts, Beats, and Eats, and rocked Arts, Beats, and Eats. They came here, played all for a few little while. Kenny Olson, formerly of Kid Rock, now in the Kenny Olson Cartel and a bunch of other bands. Escaping Pavement and Xander. The Rat Rods, that was our last show on Friday night.
Right.
And then we made the switch to Sunday nights, where we had the first guest. We had Dan Tillery, Tasha Owens, and Mike Smith's ballsack.
Remember that?
Story
It
behind that is he
stared
was
at
sitting
me.
literally
Like
where
Joe
like
is,
you are,
yeah.
just like you
I-
are right
you know
now.
what?
And he
I
had a
would-
hole in his pants right where his ballsack was. Thank God he had on a pair of underwear
Red.
because
Red underwear.
yeah.
And it was protruding.
Anybody
out
got any
of the
scissors?
hole.
Yeah, so it was like his
Please.
ball was like
Please.
literally talking to Dawn. So we got a group chat, and
I'm
she's
just
like, his balls are hanging out. You know,
I'm like,
we're
they're
not,
looking
we're
at
not
me.
focused on his balls.
It reminds me of a joke. I'll tell it later.
So we're all instead of listening to Tasha Owens' beautiful, amazing voice, we're looking at Mike Smith's ball sack hanging out of his fucking.
I wasn't.
Well, it was staring at me, and it was had a googly eye. Just
Right.
saying.
I was doing this
Very
I
veiny,
was
very
doing
veiny.
this the whole time.
Then we had the Tom Toms, and we had the I Victim people in here.
Oh yeah.
Which was a movie that you could we went to, and it was interactive, like choose your own adventure
Yeah.
type movie where you had an app on your phone, and it would come to a part in a movie, and it would be like, all right, do you want him to yell at this guy and start a fight, or do you want him to run away?
And everybody pulls their phone
Yeah,
out.
pulls your phone out, and you had like
The
20,
audience
15 seconds or whatever to
decides,
vote,
yeah.
and then it would switch. So we'll talk about that off air because it was crazy. We had Race Car, Detroit Trouble, the first of their 3 appearances. Raku the Narrator. T Money Green came in with the Suburban Soul Surfers, which is the band you always talk about. That's like surfer rock.
So, yeah,
type.
it's like Hang On Now or something like that.
Magnanimous, Wolf and the Crane, The Running Youngs with Xander, Michigan. Super MC and Midnight Gold. Both those guys have made 2 appearances in here. The Zots, Derek St. Holmes gave us a call in, and we have a liner for him. Leaving Lifted, Noah Bruner Band. That was one of the worst shows ever. War Horses came in. Augie was here for
Was I
them.
here for that one? What were we talking about that time?
can't
That was
remember.
probably
It was,
Music Festival, Hamtramck Music Festival.
It was.
That's how I was here with
Yes.
War Horses, yeah.
I Am Trouble, Drunk Dom, and the Roaches. Joe Jabber came in again there. That was one of the 5. CBS Trio, our 100th episode was Harlow and Mike Leslie Band. Mike Leslie came in. The Messenger Birds, Greg Blucher, who's been in here 3 times. Ready, Set, Rendezvous, the Rat Rods again. Somewhere south of here, Fathom City. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Nadir and Spooner, Jiva, School of Rock, who's been in here twice. Slowfoot, the Gasoline Gypsies waited till the 110th episode to make their appearance. But they've been in here, I think, 3 times now. Jason Linguski, who's been in here 5 times. Hello Human, Tino G and the Dumpster Machine. Hillbilly Knife Fight, who's been in here 3 times. The Joe Stanley Trio, Yellow Paint, Josie Pace, who's been in here 3 times. Jimmy Trito and Paco Higdon. They came in to do that. It was like a
Daedalus
space opera.
2 or something like that. Yeah.
Mint the Band, Rebecca Saad. One Last Crime, the OG Perps. Live Bullet, Red Baron. Day One, Paco Higdon Band. Gary Strauss, D. Ali's dad, came in here and did a little solo thing. The Rats, Remnose, Razor Ray, The Running Youngs, who have been in here twice. I thought they were in here more, but they've only been in here twice.
It's because Jack is in somewhere south of here also.
Oh,
so
that's right. So he seems like he's been in here
Yeah.
a lot. Joe Lupo made his first appearance in here.
I was just hanging out with Joe on Friday.
Yeah.
It's an odd duck.
Blind Pig Distilling Company. Yes, he's very odd. Broken Day Machine, 44 Territories, The Electric Numbers. Actually, 44 Territories. Augie was here again. Electric Numbers. That was also in
That had to be
Jason-
Magnum PI then that we were here for.
Right.
Because otherwise they came in to
Probably.
talk about Magnum, Tracksuit,
And
Hamtramck festivals,
Yeah.
and then I called in as angry dickhead Augie. Does that count?
Yeah.
Does my parents over the phone that I weirdly wasn't there, but you were me from the parking lot? Does that count as an appearance?
it counts as half. 0.5 an appearance.
The night with the Electric Numbers was when Jason Hine was in here. Jason Hine was the
Yeah.
wall grooming man of the year, had this epic beard. Jibbs Brown and the Jam Bros. That was when we also got told that we
Sucked.
sucked and we couldn't talk about
Oh, yeah.
ethnic groups as jokes.
No, we couldn't use
Couldn't-
accents.
Accents, that's what it was. We couldn't use accents. The only accent we could use, because it's
Joe Jabber's accent?
Yeah.
No.
No, it was Italians, evidently. You can make fun. You can fuck with Italians.
But not now.
But you can't fuck with any. You can't.
Yeah, but is that a New Jersey accent or an Italian accent? Which one are you trying to do?
Right. The Lows, they made one of their first appearance in here. Michigander out of Grand Rapids. Roots and Ruins. The Beggars. Avalon Black. Xander, Michigan was here again on our 150th episode. Weeping Prophet. Daryl Bean was here for the Stevie Wonder thing that he did. I can't even remember what it was. Hillbilly Knife Fight. That was there. Melt. Angelo Coppola was in here that night. School of Rock made their second appearance. Iron Belly, George and Eden, Ken Richards, who was here last week. Carmel Liberty, Neil from Downtown Brown, and Josie Pace were all here one night when I was out of town. The Delta Twins, Bubba Wilson and the Powerhouse. Casting Shadows, Bowling for Dollars, rest in peace to Neil Ivory, who was the bass player for them. Science for Sociopaths, Lucid Furs, who've been in here twice. Failing as Humans, Krillin. Augie was
That
here.
was a goofy ass night. So
Oh,
weird.
I think me and you talked that night via message too.
Yes, we were sitting there chatting like, what the hell is that guy wearing? And, yeah.
No Resolve came in and hung out with us. They right before we did our 5-year anniversary party. Hush was also here, who's been on 3 times. Loxodon, The Haberdasher, Up All Hours, Acoustic Ash, Black Murray, Emily Rose, The Autumn Kings, Module B, Dawn's only guest that she's ever booked here.
First.
And first and only, I
First.
think. I think it's
So
still,
far.
But it's still the only, right?
Right.
Okay.
Jerk.
Jen Miracle was here that night also. She was a past Cave Radio host, friend of ours from high school. Wrote a book, Divinely Queer. She came in and talked about that. Julie Kassar, another author. K.S. Adkins. Mudlick, Just for Kicks, was here doing the little Ferndale thing. Pete, you know all about that. And We're going to talk to Joe Jabber about maybe playing that next year. Laura Mendoza, Circle the Crown, The Strains, Wakefire, Allie McManus, One More Outburst, Chris Polite, Hip Tuck and Rumble, Criminal Rock, and Naysan. Nosy Parker, Suck It Suicide. They're a frequent guest here on Cave Radio and Big and Bigger. Ava Under Fire, Dying for a Living, the Sid Burnham Band, the Redstone Souls, which is probably one of my favorite bands out there now. Manic Grooves, Chris Day, Stone Clover came in and hung out with us again. Didn't play that time, though. Dirk Kroll Band, Saturday Night Gangster, Saneless, Cool Beans showed up to promote Stephanie Christian, the Chinchillionaires, Rick Pineda, and his guys from Ghetto Blaster. And then the last couple weeks, Girl Fight, and last week we had the Fruits.
And that's all the time we have, folks. Thank you for listening to Cave Radio.
It was only 5 minutes. It was
Hope
five.
you enjoyed our 200th episode.
7 minutes, dude. Shut up. So we've also had a bunch of co-hosts: Joe Lupo, Steve Bennett, Nick Malamas, Jay from Dead by Design, your cousin, Sharon, right? Sharon?
I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Who's your old co-host? Shannon.
Oh, Shannon. Yeah.
Sharon. Bill Arrington, Ballsrog, Kate, B-Dubs, Norm, and Six have all came in and filled in for either mine or Don's or Al's absence. So 200 episodes, lots of people.
Good
In the
job,
books.
fellas.
It was awesome. Fuck you. I quit. I'm leaving.
There's no quitting.
There's no quitting in podcasting. Actually, there's a lot of quitting in podcasting. But we got Augie in here hanging out with us. Second Sundays with Augie.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
How I covered so much stuff right there. Yeah. Was that Dawn that just did that?
Yeah, she was quick on that
she's
one.
coming.
Hey, what's up?
We forgot to talk about the Cave Radio golf outing, which was yesterday.
No, you forgot.
I'm sorry.
We were sitting here thinking about it.
How did you guys shoot?
I did pretty good for me yesterday, that's for sure.
Augie?
Well, we were a twosome instead of a foursome, and
You
so
were.
we got to shoot 2 balls. So I actually had a natural, real birdie of my own, which I can't say I've ever done before in golfing. And for golfing for 15 years, I had a par 4, I had perfect drive, perfect approach, 8-inch putt, boom. So I was like, man, maybe I should golf some more. You know, you can be all the crappy golf shots in the world. You get one good thing, you're like, I'm going to golf next week. I can do this
Yeah.
now.
And then
You're
go.
dressed.
So-
I mean, you would have won the best. outfit
I
prize.
love
Okay, so you're going to add that for next year?
That's,
It's
yeah.
not
You
a
got to
bad
have
idea.
some kind of
That's a
award
great
for
idea.
the
That's a good idea.
craziest dress twosome or whatever. And my buddy Mike and I dressed like total Payne Stewart idiots. With
It was
goofy.
hilarious.
Dude, the Patrick Swayze tank top was the best, though.
Yeah, so
This
we
is, Augie
had
and
some fun with
Mikey.
it.
That's yesterday.
At the Cave
Yeah, my
Radio
Patrick
Golf.
Swayze
Yeah,
Bodie, the Bodie tank top.
No.
But I still wore a collared shirt, so I'd qualify for the country club. You know, they'd let me in.
Right.
So
I thought it was a collared shirt. I didn't realize
it was
at
a tank
first it
top I
was a tank
threw
top
over its
yeah.
collared shirt, so you know, this is great. Silly. So
So there was another guy there that had awesome pants on, too. So,
I know. Are those ducks? They're macaws.
yeah, they're macaws
Yeah.
and parrots on
yeah,
there.
parrots on Mikey's
What a macaws.
custom-made parrot pants.
Custom made, too.
What a
Yeah.
macaws.
It's a fancy way of saying
parrot.
parrots.
Well, then
Oh.
there was macaw. No, there was what's the other? There was toucans.
Toucans.
There's toucans on there
and
too.
stuff
That
on
was
there,
the
yeah.
Fruit.
toucans. Yeah.
Right in the scratch area.
Who is the other guy?
Toucan.
He just
don't
walked
know.
by with some,
was in-
$300.
He was in the
Uh,
outing.
oh, was
in
he?
the outing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was in the outing.
Because those are those high-end John Daly pants, the loudmouths.
Yeah.
Those are,
Loudmouth.
yeah, it's Loudmouth is John Daly's golf clothing company. The clothes are super expensive.
I bet they're big sizes, too.
Yeah, they are. A lot of material.
There you go, Eric.
John Daly.
Get a pair of those pants.
Do you think I could wear those?
Well, if you
Well,
got
you
John
could.
Daly
They got
brand,
your
yeah.
size.
They actually he was just in the news. They gave him an exemption. He gets to ride in a golf cart for the PGA Championship next year. Or next week, I think.
Oh.
Next week.
Why? Because he's too big.
Well, he has degenerative knee something. And most people, that means you retire because you can't physically play anymore. You're hurt. But he's still selling clothes. People friggin' love John Daly. And they come just to see him. So they want him to still do the senior tour and all that stuff. So like, fine, we'll let you do a golf cart. You're going to get knocked out after. You know,
Right, you're not
be
gonna
there
make the
past-
cut anyways.
Yeah, he gets an eternal spot because he won the PGA
Won the
Championship.
PGA Championship,
So
yeah.
he gets to be there as long as he wants, and he's just going to drape his golf cart with a bunch of
Smoking
clothes, and
Marlboro.
yeah,
cigarettes
right.
and- yeah.
He said, "I'm proudly drinking again. I don't care." He's like, "I'm off the wagon. I don't care."
Well, I did yesterday.
Eventually, he'll be the beer cart girl.
Right.
He'll be like a party store on wheels,
Right.
selling beer and cigarettes. and
His
stuff.
book reads Is my microphone on?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got you.
I can't hear
Is
myself.
this
in
soft
the
talk?
headphones.
Soft talk with Mike Nagy.
Well, his book reads like it's a rock band. He's talking about just being out, meeting women in hotel lobbies, staying
Yeah.
up till 6 a.m. drinking, and then going hungover playing around in golf. It's,
Him and Tiger Woods
Right?
banging freaking Waffle House waitresses.
Who knew if you could put a bowl on your head and carve your hair around it?
You could be the Beatles or John Daly.
Yeah.
So we got a very fun show planned for you tonight. Joe
I
Jabber.
shot like shit, by the way.
Huh?
I shot like shit. by
Yeah,
the
me
way.
too. I didn't figure it'd be good for me to talk about it because I didn't
Yeah.
play well.
Okay. I just wanted to make
Who
sure.
won the
I don't know.
The women-
Somebody
the-
was 11
the-
under, right?
The
I
women's
think that
longest
was the winning
drive,
score
that
was
would be
1100.
Scott.
Yeah, the women's
Gonzo.
longest drive was won by Gonzo,
No, closest to the pin.
close to the pin. That's what it was,
Yeah.
and it could have been
He
won
was
by.
so
Could have been won by
excited.
probably Augie,
I had a really
me,
good shot,
or
yeah.
that old guy that I had golfing because I don't know how close you stuck it, but my man stuck it like 18 inches from the pin.
Yeah.
That dude with you was rather fascinating.
He was a cool, dude.
Where did he come from?
It's that guy Brian. The
Oh,
other guy I was
so-
with. It's his friend. I don't know.
Brian had a fun golf outing.
I talked to him this morning. And I'm like, so you ghosted on 2 stakes, and he was like, sorry, man, big trouble with the girl. And I'm like, yeah, I walked outside. And you guys were like, I thought you were duking it out.
That's why I'm single. Because if a chick cost me a steak dinner,
Yeah.
forget it.
Well,
Oh, he got his. He got his.
Yeah.
It worked out for him.
yeah.
Oh,
He got a Hummer on like the 9th hole and
Oh.
In a
shot
porta
lights
john.
out for a while. Yeah, in a porta john.
Yeah.
Real classy.
Yeah.
Shut the.
Nope. True story.
Shut
his-
the
from his
outhouse
girlfriend,
door.
or-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It wasn't from the park
It
girl.
wasn't from me.
Was it one of the girls that was with you guys?
It was his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
She was
And-
golfing
Oh.
with
Golfing
him.
with
And they were fighting at the end, though, and had to leave.
He didn't taste that good, did
So
he?
I got
Return the
Well,
favor
they were
at
in
the
a
next
in a
hour.
golf course porta john. Mikey's like yelling, "That's not sanitary." We knew they were in there for 10 minutes. It was like,
Gross. That's gross.
He shot fucking lights out after that, though. It was great.
That's
for him.
dedication right there. I'd be pissed at him too. Now that I think about it.
Ash, Acoustic Ash says, "What's up, Eric, Joe, and the crew?"
What up, Ed?
What's up?
Kelly Watkins Bray says, "My girl Jen thinks Joe is hot."
Ooh.
So do
Everybody
we.
thinks Joe's hot.
So do we.
that's why he's up there on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not on purpose.
We put him up there. We had to move three.
gonna go
we had
down.
to move 3 tables out of the room so we
get
could get
his
his arms in.
through the door. Fucking Hulk Hogan looks at you and goes, "Damn, them are guns." So we got Joe Jabber and the Last Divide in the house, and sitting in with them tonight on percussion is Mark Pasman. Mark is was one of our first guests here. Was our first guest on Cave Radio along with Joe and his partner Jimmy Pickles back in the day. And we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to listen to Jimmy Pickles and the Pasman on the very first episode of Big and Bigger.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Hold on. We're going to listen to it, but we're going to listen to a song by the Lows real quick. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more with Joe Jabber and the Last Divide and Mark. He's going to sit down. We got story time with Uncle Augie tonight, and of course, as always, a little after 8:30, we have Dumb Shit with Dawn, which is an amazing staple here at Cave Radio on Big and Bigger. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. You got the Lows, and then we're going to play that little track with Jimmy Pickles and Mark Pasman. You're listening to episode number 200 here on Cave Radio Broadcasting. Be back in just a couple minutes.
Cruising shotgun, I'm road tripping. lady left me mute to ride. That train pulled out, I swung on behind. Crazy about her, that hard-headed woman of mine. Oh, my baby's long, great gosh almighty, she's tall. I said, oh, my baby's long, great gosh almighty, she's tall. Well, my baby, she's long, yeah, my baby, she's tall. She sleep with her head in the kitchen, big feet out in the hall, and I'm still crazy about her, that hard-headed woman of mine. Here we go. Well, I love my baby, she's so fine. I wish she'd come and see me sometime. She don't believe I love her, look at the hole I'm in. Don't believe I'm singing about the shape I'm in. Come on, Pasman. Oh, yeah. Well, I love my baby. She's so fine. I wish she'd come and see me sometime. She don't believe I love her. Look at the hole I'm in. Don't believe I'm singing about the shape I'm in. No, no, she complicated. Left me mute to ride. I said she complicated, left me a mute to ride. Yeah, my baby complicated, left me mute to ride. That train pulled out, I swung on behind. Still crazy about her, hard-headed woman of mine. Last night you told me that we were through. And all the time I thought that your love was true. You hurt me. You hurt me so. You hurt me. When you let me go, you always told me that we would never, ever part. And now you come along and you break my loving heart. You hurt me. Oh, you hurt me so. You hurt me when you let me go. begging, please come back to me. Oh, life is now at stake. If you don't soon return, you're gonna drive me to my grave. You hurt me. Oh, you hurt me so. You hurt me. Oh, baby, when you let me go, I said you hurt me. You hurt me. You hurt me so. You hurt me. Oh, when you let me go.
Very nice. Welcome back, everybody, to Big and Bigger here on Cave Radio Broadcasting, episode number 200.
Bloody Mary Sunday.
200. And I know the thing isn't on there, Don. It's changing as we speak.
Oh, thank you.
Well, mine's working, so I don't know what's wrong with your phone.
Mine's just slower.
So, episode number 200, we got Joe Jabber in The Last Divide. In here, we got Mark Pasman in here hanging out with us. Joe and Mark were our very first guests. And you know what? It was such a rush day. I had the notes, actually, from the very first show. And I was going to go over and see how everything changed, but I dropped
It said
the ball.
touch Joe's arms with like 3 underlines under each word.
So let's talk with Joe real quick, because I know he's got to get out of here sort of early to go get his kids. So what do you think about the Lions this year?
Really?
Man,
That's what we're leading with.
he's a
Lions
I'm
fan.
diehard, man. I think it's gonna be pretty much. I'm thinking 8-8.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 8-8, but I still get super excited, man. I love it. By the way, yeah, awesome.
I'm not going to get it removed.
By the way, I just moved. I moved, so like I'm setting it up. Anybody wants to come out for opening day for the Lions?
Okay, I'll be
It's
there.
gonna be a good time. Seriously.
Well, you know, we have to schedule Joe around Big and Bigger.
Yeah.
Because he can't miss Lions games. So Sundays are off limits for him during football season. So.
That's it.
That's
I'm
the hard
sorry.
part, because a couple times Joe was like, "You want to come watch the game?" I'm like, I got the show.
Yeah.
We should broadcast
Damn
from his
show.
house.
Oh, dude.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
She's a little gem.
That just happened. She just booked our second guest.
Yes.
Halftime show. Halftime show with Joe Jabber.
Boom, shakalaka.
Yeah, right.
Hey, by the way, I'm putting a pool in too, so we could jump in the pool. We could have a good time.
Oh,
That would
seriously.
be fun.
I'm literally setting up. For years, I never had a situation where we entertained. So I'm finally going down that road, and I'm gonna go all out.
By the way,
so.
Eric
ladies.
and I can jump in the pool, and when we leave, you can fill it back up.
Yeah, well, hey, can you guys water my plants?
By the way, ladies, Joe Jabber is on the market.
Ooh, Jesus.
He's a single man. And for
Just got a house with a pool. I mean,
Oh, don't do that to
signs
Joe.
point to Joe.
and Al and I are also single, and we are his friends.
That's right.
So
His
Who
portly
look
friends.
nothing like him.
We are his portly friends.
So we should
He's
have
open for
some kind of
leftovers.
event,
We
right?
have
have
his
the,
dream.
I am not.
the rest of the body that his arms should be attached to. So, Joe, put you on the spot. Give us your best dating video from the 90s.
Oh my
intro.
gosh.
Dating video intro. What do you mean?
Yeah,
I'm
remember,
confused.
they
Remember
had
Love
video
Connection?
dating
I'm
back,
Joe
like-
Jabber. I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to talk? Okay.
Yeah, do it.
I don't know.
Pitch yourself.
Yeah, we want to hear what
Picture
this
myself?
would, what this would
Not
be.
pinch. Pitch.
Man, this is not good. I don't want to. I'm going to say something I don't want to say. I don't know.
No one's listening.
I don't.
True story.
I don't know what to say. My name is Joe Jabber. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm white up top and dark down below.
And he had to push his voice to say it.
The only guy that doesn't have to push his voice just pushed his voice.
I don't know where that came
Dark
from.
down below. All you need is a mullet and a unicorn sweater when you say that. That would be a great video from the 90s.
Yes. I love mullets. Mullets are my favorite.
They're
I'll be
coming
honest.
back.
They are funny. I think they're funny.
The best website of all time. They shut it down, and it's actually I've cried about it. It was called mulletsgalore.com. Yeah. It was literally the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
I had one.
It gave like their mullitude, their aggressiveness.
Most of my life.
Yeah. Mullets are. I had the Ralph Macchio mullet when I was in 6th grade for sure.
I think we all rocked it at one point or another.
Yeah.
Not me.
Never had a mullet?
No
I think
mullets.
I had a mullet.
I'm sure if we dug deep enough, we'd find you.
I had a lot of
mullet.
bowl cuts.
I always put my hair back right
I
here.
think you had a mullet kind of in high school.
Does.
I never really had the long and back though.
Yeah, it was a little bit long and back.
You never had the hockey hair?
All right, Pete, where's this picture of you with a mullet?
Yeah,
'Cause
let's see a picture of Pete
I'm
with
on
a
your
mullet.
Facebook right now, so I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna look for it.
For wedding picture.
Okay, you look it up, Pete, for me, because we got to see this. Some special stuff right there. So at the break, we had the very first time when Mark was here, our very first episode. Him and Jimmy Pickles did it. What were those songs? Do you remember what those songs were that you did?
Yeah, she caught the Katie, and then we did a Willie Dixon. We did a. I just told you who this guy was, didn't I? Little Willie John song. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
great tunes.
What have you been up to? I know you're
Busy. In the studio, Pickles and I had our new album all ready to go, and then he had a little family issue, so he's kind of retired. So plus I had a hard time getting some of my fellow musicians to come over to my house and help me with the demo. So I remembered that I used to play the keys and the bass and the drums and everything myself. So I just kind of wood shop and got busy, and so I did most everything myself. Then I met this new singer through this. I'm also playing percussion with a classic rock tribute band called Top Cats, and Scott Zanni's his singer, and so I had him over, and so now we're working on some stuff. So I got a bunch of different things going on. I'm not sure how I'm going to launch them. In fact, I want to talk to Joe at another time because he's got a handle on how the music world looks. Now, I've been kind of locked in the studio for a couple of years, and I understand there's numerous platforms, something called YouTube, etc. So
Spotify.
we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so I've been just kind of in a total state of musicality, which is great. And I'm playing live out all the time. We're out at Fishbones on the east side, and every month I'm at O'Mara's, which is 12 Mile, and Coolidge in Berkeley. I'm there next Saturday with one of the greatest blues bands around the world, Bobby Murray Band.
Okay.
And Bobby played with Etta James for 20 years, so he kind of knows what's going on. Wow. And Lenny Watkins is one of the greatest blues singers you've ever heard. And we also have Phil Hale with us, who's probably the best keyboard player out there right now. So, yeah, I've been busy.
Very cool.
Yeah, come and see us.
All right. Yeah. We're going to talk with Mark a little bit later in the show, and he's going to fill in on percussion for Joe and The Last Divide here in just a few minutes. So I know you just put out a new album not too long ago, Joe.
Yeah.
Where can we find that? And, how long did it take you? Because it's been a few years since you put out something.
Yeah, we put it out, and I want to say it came out like November. And it's called I Made It On My Own. It's on iTunes, all the good stuff, CD Baby, Amazon, all that good stuff. And we're actually, everybody's that I'm connected with musically is trying to tell me to slow down a little bit because I already want to do the next one, which I was talking to the Pasman about. It's going to be a blues rocker. It's going to be completely different. That's the whole idea, is to kind of just put it on its edge. And I'm so excited about it.
It's all right. You make it, and then you sign with someone. They'll just make you take it off the market and re-release it under them.
I know.
You got
until somebody tells me the one thing I've heard like people talk about other people sometimes is like, they didn't find a lane. Everybody's got to find a lane. I don't want to be in a lane.
Right.
I love way too many kinds of music just to be like, oh, well, I'm not supposed to play that kind of music, so I'm not gonna.
Right.
So I'm excited about it, for sure.
That's cool. And you've had it was almost country. The very first album you did, It wasn't country, but it was almost country. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they classified you as Americana, or whatever. Which it's such a broad thing because you're not American. You have blues, you have rock, you have country, you have all that in there. Mm-hmm. And like Al and I say, it's Detroit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's a blue collar kind of throw it all together in a garage and fucking bring it to you.
Yep.
And that's I think what your music and I guess Americana is probably the broadest subject you can put it in, but I don't like that.
It's tough, man. Like I said, I actually set up. We just got a brand new website, and I set it up to be completely different, where it has like one side I wanted to consider it like solo, so it's the Americana singer-songwriter kind of mellow stuff for if we want to do like listening rooms or places like that. But then the other side is the full band stuff where it's the blues rock and, kick your ass party kind of stuff.
Right.
So I just feel like, you don't want to, when you're signing up for these festivals, if you just set on the same stuff, like if you set a festival all year, like you're crying tunes, it's like they want people to rock out. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to divide that a little bit. Hence the last divide too. So it's all. And nobody even realizes this. I never even brought this up. Yeah. And my first album, I called it Both Sides because I wanted it to kind of look like, I don't know if my old album, it's like you got songs like Living Today and Time and Move It Slow, which are kind of rockers. And then you had songs that are more like super, emotional. So, so you know what I mean? I just like to do both. So
now at that album release party, Al, he
was the MC.
That
oh
night.
yeah, knocked over Ty Stone's water all over the.
Did you?
Stage.
I didn't see
It
that.
was so fun.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
You
was a
also
fun night.
that night debuted a new charity that is very near and dear to your heart. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, you're not the only one. Started a charity. I'd say about a month or two before that, my sister passed away from a drug overdose. So I've been trying to get involved with that. Lately, I've been helping out more charities doing shows, and I haven't really done much for the charity since then. But the website's almost done, and the Facebook page is almost done. And then I have a show that me, Pete, and Chrissy are going to do coming up soon. And actually, it's wow.
Look at that mullet, guys.
Oh, is that Pete?
Hold on.
That just went up on the big screen in the studio, folks.
It looks like a mini alligator is on your head.
Mini alligator.
Was that when you were in REO Speedwagon?
I don't think it's a mullet. That's a frullet. That's a frullet. That's great.
I told you.
It's a frullet.
I think the viewers can see it somewhat on the wow.
That's great.
Was that a perm too?
I hope.
That's my hair.
Did you save it? Did you save it? You should save it like in a scrapbook or something.
Scrapbook.
My hair is really that curly. It really is.
Wow.
You wouldn't know it now, because I have no hair now.
So that's from 2011?
No, June 30th, 1990.
Wow.
That was right after I graduated. Graduated in 1990.
I wasn't born yet.
No.
Sure, rub it in.
Jesus.
Rub it in.
Wow. Thanks, Aaron.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which, why don't you introduce the band? We've been talking about the band, and
All right, that's what I want. Mike Nagy on bass is to my left. He was you get talked about. He was with the Split for a while, and Jiva. We got Pete Peltier on my right. He's always slaying the blues slide guitar, Main Street Soul, and some other bands as well. And then Erin Marie, who just joined the band recently.
I sure did.
And she's a welcomed addition, man. She's great. She's fabulous. And
Thank you.
She's helping out in many ways. So really, really glad to have her.
Many ways.
many ways.
Many ways. She's helping out like with the Facebook stuff. And to be honest, doing the music thing is so freaking hard all by yourself. Like all the money and all the time and all the effort, and just to have somebody that's actually lending a hand goes a hell of a long way.
We
So,
hear from a lot of
thank you so
people.
much.
A lot of bands come in. And they're like, we love playing. We just hate social media.
Yeah.
And it's like that's if you're
have
gonna
to.
make it anywhere, you got to be on top of that. That's the game you need to be on.
It's just always been tough for me because I don't want to be like a look at me kind of person, and it's
Right.
tough for me. But it's like I have people pushing me hard. Put it that way.
Yeah, you have to
To
market.
like
I mean,
do it,
that's-
Joe. Do it.
Yep.
You know. So, but hey, you know what? Social media is not all bad. I love the fact that I talk about all the time. Like I'm reunited with people from high school that I would have never seen again, or like
Half
just-
the people that were at
Agree.
your show were people that were
yeah,
from your high school.
yeah.
And stuff. I
Tons of
didn't
my
know-
high school friends were there, and it was great. I mean, to be honest, that whole night, my heart was just filled with love. It felt so great. It was so stressful because I literally, that was kind of before Aaron was in the mix, and I was literally put the whole damn thing together myself, and it was extremely hard. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, I was just like, oh my god! I just saw to be able to do that and then see all your friends afterwards. People, say I love playing, but I love afterwards playing more than anything.
Right.
Just seeing everybody and hanging out, and that's what I live
It
for.
was a good time, man.
Yep.
You guys put on a good show.
Thank you.
And if it wasn't for Facebook, none of us would know about Joe Bonamasso or whatever the hell his name is. It's You guys get that
Oh yeah.
every day. It's
Oh,
a
yeah, I
new
see it, too.
sponsored
He
link
Yeah, I
from
know,
that
I
guy.
know, I see it,
Great
too.
PR.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He shows up on all my stuff. Everything everything you say just shows up. You're like, I need a new knife set. All of a sudden, knives are on your feed.
Dude, me and
Yeah.
Dude, I bought some sunglasses a month ago. I cannot get sunglasses off my Instagram and
Uh-huh.
Facebook feeds.
Yeah.
I try to clear out all the cookies
Nope.
and everything. Nope.
Nope.
Like, dude, I just bought them. You
Yeah.
don't need to sell them. I'm not going to buy them now.
Yeah.
Me
Say
and
something else.
Me and Al
Backdoors.
and Tony were coming home from the DMAs a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking. I just bought I'm renting a house, and I had to get rid of all the shit that was in the house, and there was like precious moments and all that stuff in there, which I don't fucking know what those.
You
things
don't
are.
look like you are a precious moments.
No,
kind
I'm
of
not
guy.
a precious moments kind of guy at all.
I bet she has Hummels, though.
So I put them in a box, but we were talking about it on the way home. The next fucking day on Facebook, I didn't Google it and say, hey, how much are precious moments? The next fucking day, I woke up and I sent it to him and Tony. It was like, look what I just got on my fucking thing. And it
I'm
was,
so glad you said that story because this happened to a friend of mine just last week, and I thought he had an Alexa in the room. They were talking about something. The next day, boom, 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 it's all over every one of his things.
Yep.
I'm telling
They
you,
know
dudes,
everything.
Yeah.
These fucking algorithms.
Wow.
Now you're talking to a guy, one of the first guys who was replaced by an algorithm. How do they pick music on radio now? Algorithms. That used to
Yeah.
be my job.
Yeah.
They're coming for all of y'all.
Right.
That's why this is great because they can't do algorithms can't do this.
Yeah.
no,
There's
exactly.
a great meme on Facebook that says it's a mom and the son, and the son asks what's for dinner, and the mom is whispering real low, and he's like, "Why are you whispering?" And the mom said, "Oh, I don't want the NSA to hear me." And it says, then the mom laughed, then the son laughed, then Alexa laughed.
So what do you got coming up? Anything coming up?
Yeah, we were playing at the. I always want to say the Pig and Whiskey, but it's not the
Swig
Swig
and
and
Pig.
Pig.
That's
The
on
Swig and Pig.
Saturday. We're
Yeah.
performing from 6
Come up
to
on that mic.
7:30. Hi. Swig and Pig on Saturday from 6 to 7:30.
Where's that at?
That's in Wyandotte, and it's just the big old street fair down there. Lots of rock and roll music and barbecue and lots of booze. So, come on out.
Okay.
Have a great time.
I heard that on mainstream radio the other day, and I messaged Joe and said, "I just heard your name on the radio." I was like, "That's my boy." He was like, "For what?" I'm like, "I don't know, some Pig and Whiskey thing or something."
Smoking pigs.
I was like, for what? Why would they say my name?
Now, you guys are, Joe, you got your band, but almost all the players in your band are in other projects.
Yeah.
Like you're in Jiva and this, and Brian Riley's got his hands in just about everything.
Yeah.
Pete, you're in a couple bands. How does that work for you guys? Scheduling practices and everything. Pete, coming
Hard
from you,
as hell.
because you're in a few bands. And
No, it's hard. It's hard
gigging
to-
and
Yeah,
It's
so is a lot of it done like over the internet, or do you guys actually get
via
together?
text.
Yeah.
And you just hope. Actually, everybody's been really good lately about getting back. Like that's always the worst part when
Mostly Mike.
you're like, hey guys, what about this show? And then it's like there's one person doesn't get back for 3 days, and then the people are calling me, and you know what I mean. But everybody's been really good. The good thing is I got all pros in my band.
Right.
That's like, that's what's always kind of tough about. Everybody knows the musician. Overall, some of them are kind of flaky, right? So when you get like pros in your band that like are on time and do the right thing and know they've been
Show
around,
up early.
show up, yeah, it's
Stay
awesome.
late.
Yeah,
Help out.
yeah,
Do
I'm
the-
very
yeah.
blessed.
And you
Very
get
cool.
good compliments too, because after you did the Crash Test Dummies
Yeah.
show, Nate from Fusion Shows was saying that you were just a pleasure to work with, very easygoing, and that he would use you again for sure in the future.
Yeah,
Plus, he's built like
that
an
was such
Adonis.
dude. That show was so awesome.
Was it?
That show was so awesome.
Did I say
'Cause
that out loud? Sorry.
The thing is, like a lot of times when you play, you like this has been my kind of complaint forever is that you don't hear yourself. But when you play a place like that, when we played St. Andrews before, the Crowfoot, like you hear yourself.
It's $1 million
It makes
sound
me,
system
like,
there.
It makes me like just.
Even more swole.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I just
I
want.
feel like he's going to take
I
his
wanna
shirt off.
prove
Huh?
Musically erect.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, I remember when we played St. Andrews afterwards, I was like, yeah. I remember just screaming into the mic, you know what I mean? Because I was just so fired
Was
up.
that when you? That was the opened up for the Infats.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I remember afterwards, like, man, you way to open the show, dude. You know what I mean?
That was when you
just fired up.
debuted beer.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Which he wrote because of our show.
I wrote this song "Alcohol" for the show. I was doing a show with these guys, and I was like, "Who wouldn't like a song called "Alcohol"? I think I'm gonna write this for the Cave Radio guys. I still need to get out on a recording.
You do.
It's honestly, it's not gonna be on the next recording. It's gonna be the one after that.
Yeah, because the next one's.
Played that for a few years.
Yeah, we play it live a lot.
You played it at the bowling alley at the relay fundraiser.
Yeah, all the kids were dancing to it. It was great. They're like, alcohol, yeah.
I know. We got a bunch of lushes.
We love
for
Joe
kids.
Jabber.
Alcohol, I didn't need you. Alcohol, yes, I did.
We all do.
So you're listening to Big and Bigger, episode number 200 here on Cave Radio. We got Mark Pasman, legendary blues guy from 94.7 for 20 years, right? 25 years he was on 94.7. Did the Motor City
Blues Project. And a decade at the Riff before that.
Ah, there you go. So
I swear to God, just hearing his voice is so nostalgic for me.
I know.
Like it is. It is. It's so like I used to listen to him
Every
constantly.
Sunday night.
It was amazing, man.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you, fellas.
I love your voice. You were giving me compliments earlier. I was like, I'm waiting until I get on the mic to compliment your voice because it was.
It's
It was
my
awesome.
father's voice, and may he rest in peace. And until the very end, I would call my mom some nights or some days, and she wasn't sure who was on the other end of the phone.
By the
So,
way, thank
I
you
mean,
for bringing that
literally.
up. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah,
to
let's get
everyone.
there.
I
eh?
didn't-
Yeah.
Yep.
Kathy's in
All the
here. Happy
moms.
Mother's Day, Kathy.
Happy.
It's a bittersweet day for me because my mom's been gone 21 years.
Me too,
this,
buddy.
This
Me-
July.
Today is hard. And can I made a couple of, it's funny how you fall back into old habits. I haven't, for 25 years, I would get in my car and go to CSX and do the show Sunday nights. Your body, your mind, everything gets in a, so when I knew I was going to be on the radio Sunday night, I didn't even notice I was doing it, but I grabbed a piece of paper and I made my 4 highlights. I wanted to make sure I got on the show. And one of the things I wanted to mention was just certainly today's for the mothers. Let's all revel in motherhood of past and future and present. But it's a real hard day once you lose your mom.
Yeah.
Don't hear too much talk about that.
No.
So I want to send this out to everybody who has lost their mom. And, life goes on. And what you do is take what they gave you and make sure you're moving it forward. And that's all you can do.
Yeah,
sure.
I couldn't have
Well
said it better. So listen, we're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, Joe's got to get out of here. So I'm going to ask him. Actually, you know what? Before we go to break, fuck it. You guys have never asked answered these questions here. And it's questions that we ask every single one of our guests in here to kind of break the mood. But we already know you guys, so the mood's been broke. Mike, come on up to the mic. You ready?
Just get on the mic.
This is question number 1 of the serious questions. If you could bang any cartoon character, which cartoon character would you bang?
Oh, adult Simba for sure.
Adult Simba?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that voice, man. He's got like the muscles. He's like Joe, but a lion.
Do you think he has a red rocket?
I'm sure.
Does he have a red rocket?
Mike, what about you? You can't follow that
I
one.
can't beat that.
I'm really sorry.
I'll cop out with who was it? Jessica from
Jessica
Roger
Rabbit.
Rabbit or whatever.
That's our number 1 answer.
Oh, that's a pretty. Yeah.
What about Betty Boop?
Ooh, someone said her the other day.
I thought about that.
You
Someone
booper.
said-
You
what about you,
booper.
Pete?
Oh, same question?
Yeah, same question. If you could bang any cartoon character, which cartoon character would you bang?
And your wife's not a cartoon character, so you can't go there.
Yeah.
How about Bugs Bunny when he dressed like a woman?
There you
No.
go.
No,
That's our second.
That's our
most
second
popular.
most
SpongeBob
popular.
SquarePants.
Swear.
musicians are all twisted.
He is stumped.
Wow, I don't know.
What do you got, Pete?
Because I would have said Jessica from Roger Rabbit.
Oh, you took his bait.
Oh, you can still. I
You
mean,
can
you
say
guys
it.
can
That's
take
fine.
turns.
She's been around a little bit. You can
Yeah.
still have some.
Okay, let's see here. Joe Jabber and the Last Divide just got booked on their dream show. You guys get to pick the 2 bands that are going to accompany you at this show, and you get to pick the venue. The catch is these 2 bands Can be dead or alive, past or present, not together anymore. It doesn't matter. It's your show, your dream. Mike Nagy. Who is playing with Joe Jabber and Last Divide, and where is this event happening?
Wow.
It's at Wembley. Ugh.
All right, who's the bands?
I'm going to say Guns N' Roses. The
So it'll be
90,
it'll be a late show.
88,
not with
90
Buckethead?
Guns N'
Not with
Roses.
Buckethead?
Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. And I'm going to also say Hendrix.
Nice.
Okay. Joe, what about you?
Red Rocks in Denver, maybe.
That's the number one venue, by the way.
I
Is it?
love the Broncos.
Me too. Oh shoot, who to have there?
Fucking Broncos.
The Allman Brothers, and I'm gonna throw a curveball. Johnny Winter.
Yeah.
Okay. Pete, what about you?
Royal Albert Hall with XTC and Joe Jackson.
Okay. Aaron, what about you?
I don't know. I feel on the spot. I went last.
Well, you've had like 5 minutes to think about
I
it.
know, and I forgot my answer.
She's so young. She's gonna say like NSYNC and Boys II Men or something.
You know what? For sure.
Actually, you
LCA.
yeah.
You know what? I almost did say LCA though.
Shawn
but I think
Mendes.
That would mean so much to Joe if we booked the biggest venue now in Detroit. I would love to see him go down more of like the, I guess, more blues aspect of music. I think he's got like a really good voice for it. So don't make me match bands, but I really think that like the bigger Joe gets, I think it's not a dream anymore. I think he really can get there. So it's kind of hard to like picture exactly where he's going to be in 5 years because that's really
She
what
just
I'm
secured
thinking,
her job extra.
Whatever happened to the question
Joe,
about
thank
two bands
you.
and a venue? I mean,
Yeah. That's awesome, Aaron.
That's the biggest cop-out
Thank
answer
you.
ever. Whatever's best for Joe.
That's for Joe. He's really nice.
As he gets
Thanks for booking me.
when he gets bigger.
I mean, I've only been with Joe, for like 6 months now,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
And I fell into it, pretty quickly. So, getting to know his music and his style is.
How's
really,
Chrissy Morgan as a mentor?
Chrissy
Chrissy's
Morgan's the
awesome.
best thing that's ever happened to my music career. I'm not joking to you. I
Joe,
think
too.
that She is. Oh, Joe's great, but really, I work.
No, I mean, Chrissy Morgan's the best thing that ever happened to his music career.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, I can't. I don't have the words to describe what Chrissy has done for me and the amount of insight and knowledge that she has provided. Just even working with Joe, she's like, hey, let me give you the inside tips. Which I'm young. I like to brag about it, but I'm pretty new to this whole thing, and so having somebody who knows the business, is extremely talented and so welcoming has been
comes
so
prepared with
refreshing.
1,000
Right.
instruments.
Extremely. Yeah, this is her tambourine. Thank you, Chrissy Morgan. You're still here.
She's
Don't
like,
think you
this is
are.
how this works. We get there early. We grease up Joe's arms before he goes on. He likes his forearms to glisten when he's on stage. So because we're not playing,
I found that
instruments, we,
SPF 30 works best.
he likes a nice sheen.
I thought it was Hawaiian tropic.
It depends on the lighting, though. Pay attention to the lighting for the night.
It's a hard time they give me all the time, man.
Times in the city, Joe.
Times in the city, yeah. There you go.
Now, Mark, the same question goes to you. Mark Pasman, you're playing with whatever band you want to play with,
Oh,
but
thank
you get to play. You get to
Hey.
pick two bands that you play with and a venue. Where are you playing?
Well, I cheated because I get to go extra last. And for all of us, I think it's hard to narrow it down band-wise. But the best show I ever saw was Stevie Ray Vaughan at St. Andrews Hall.
Oh, wow.
I shot my video for Domino at St. Andrews Hall. The sound from the stage when you're playing at St. Andrews Hall it makes you musically erect.
Wow.
It is spectacular.
I think
There are a
we
lot
should
of great
go
venues
there.
in Detroit. One of the reasons Detroit's such a great live music town is we have a lot of great halls and bars and dives and stuff. So it would be St. Andrews Hall, and I would be opening the show for. Here's going to throw a curve to some of the boys and girls at home. Rock Pile. Which was one of the greatest live bands ever, which was Dave Edmunds, Nick Lowe, Say No More. And after that would be Stevie Ray.
Okay. All right, very cool.
Cross
All right.
up on the wreckage.
Bingo! I talked the idiots at Riff into playing that song on the radio. That was one of my biggest.
So,
proudest moments.
real quick, before we take a break, I want you guys to think about this and give me your answer. But first, I'm gonna talk about some upcoming shows that we have here on Big and Bigger. Give me 3 people, dead or alive, that you'd want to have a drink with. Think about that for a second. 3 people, dead or alive, that you'd want to have a drink with. Next week, we're right back at it. Episode number 201. We have Sudden Death Syndrome. They're going to be in here hanging out with us. And then we have Just Like People on May 26th. And for all of you guys that don't know, and today, a couple days ago, Paul Carey. Is it Paul Carey? Yeah. Passed away. I saw
he's on my list. Yeah,
I saw
my 4.
you say something earlier about it, and a couple weeks ago, Ashley Peacock, a guy from Flint, took his own life, and they're throwing a big benefit for the family or whatever, and his buddy's coming in to talk about that event, so that's going to be on May 26th. On July 2nd, we have our.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I only met Ashley one time.
Me too.
And it was at a Detroit Music Awards
Me
event.
too. It was when we met him.
Yeah, and he was like he seemed extremely happy. He seemed like a very I don't know, like cosmic person. Like he was talking about like the universe and like, love, and just I was like, wow, what a positive, like happy guy. Mm-hmm. And then literally like 2 months later that happened. So that just goes to show
you never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
You stick close to people that you need to stick close to.
Yep. So we have I think our 3rd Port Huron band coming in on July 2nd, LCF, which is a reggae band. On June 9th, we just finalized this the other day. Corktown Popes are going to be in on Big and Bigger for the first time, and that's going to be pretty cool. And then we got Commander, Slowfoot, Dirty Mind Detroit, The Haberdasher, and Reckless Revival are all. We're booked through July 14th, so if you want to get your band in here, it's going to have to be after that because Big and Bigger is cooking. Right
yeah,
now.
we'll probably hold a couple weeks too prior to Arts
Beats and Eats. Yep, sometime in late August, we'll hold a couple for a couple bands, and Jamie Wilkins coming.
Because I think it's July 1st. I think that
is when
they announced the bands. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, you ready? 3 people, dead or alive, you'd want to have drinks with. Mike Nagy, who are your 3 people?
So I'm going to go with Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to go with Prince. And then the third one would be either one of my grandfathers who I never had the chance to meet.
Perfect. Cool. I like that. Joe Jabber, 3 people, dead or alive, you'd want to have drinks with.
Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The Gold's Gym guy.
I put things up and put them down.
Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes. That's all, man. That's tough. I don't know. Ozzy Osbourne, back when he was with
That
Black
would
Sabbath.
be interesting.
Yeah. Who else? Man, I'm such a sports nut. John Elway.
Okay.
Pete, I love the Broncos.
Yes, me too.
I wish I could have a drink with my dad.
Yeah.
Because I think about him all the time, like whenever, like after a big game, like after I watch a really cool, I want to call him up. I still get that reflex to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Call him. Say, hey, did you? It never goes away.
How long ago did you lose him?
He's been gone 23 years now.
Oh, okay. It doesn't get any easier.
No.
No.
Peter Gabriel. I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan. I'd love to sit down with him and pick his brain about how he writes songs and all the crazy sounds he comes up
Did you bang
with.
all 3 of those chicks in the video?
And who else? Oh, I don't know. Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Like
There
one of
you
the,
go.
or Ringo for that matter. I would love to sit down with him, just like be able to talk and say, what was that like?
Right.
And Paul McCartney seems like such an approachable,
They both
Like
do,
he's-
actually.
Yeah, they both do. They seem like they're just so well grounded for being as huge as they were.
Right.
They seem perfectly normal and loving life.
Right. Aaron, what about you? 3 people dead or alive? You'd want to have
3 people. Stevie Nicks, Dolly Parton, and Miley Cyrus.
Okay. All right. Mark, what about you? 3 people dead or alive
Assortment there.
you'd want to have drinks with?
I like the way she thinks. Okay, so my hero Amit Ertegun of Atlantic Records. He had his finger in Ray Charles and Allman Brothers. I mean, the list, all of our favorites here at the table. So I think he treated musicians better than most some people of that time, but they're just like all of our heroes. There are some dark pages in the book. So Ahmet Ertegun, 3. Jimmy, you got to have Jimmy in there, I think.
Well, you said Paul.
Pardon me?
Paul Carey, you said. The guy that just passed away.
Yes.
From here in Detroit. You said you were going to use him.
Oh, did I? Oh,
You don't
no, I
have
said
to.
I
You
was
don't
going
have-
to
you don't have to.
say something about Paul.
My bad.
This is a new. I didn't know there were going to be quizzes. I didn't know. And I'm the only one here not drinking, so. All right, so and my dad, yeah.
Okay. Augie, have we ever asked you this question?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm the. Yeah, we did this 100 times.
All right. I wasn't sure.
But I always went like Robin Williams, Tom Hanks, people that were gonna make me laugh my ass off while we're doing it.
Robin
And then like
Williams.
my grandpa right after the Deuce, right after World War
Right.
II, not a poop, after World War II.
Oh.
Just to hear about what it was like to land on those islands and do that stuff he did with the 5th Marines. So, yeah, those come out pretty quick.
All right. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, Joe Jabber and The Last Divide are going to play. Anything you want to plug real quick before we go? I know you got a show Saturday. Next Saturday?
This Saturday coming up
This Saturday?
at the Swig and Pig Wyandotte, 6 to 7:30 downriver, where I'm from.
Oh,
Check it out.
And check
What-
out Joe's new
When the
website.
And then June 13th will be at the Whitney downtown for the
Yes.
Whitney Garden Party.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's an outdoor
That
gig.
is always fun.
You can
happy
find
hour.
any of
Nice.
Joe's upcoming gigs at joejabberandthelastdivide.com.
There you go. All right. All right. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Joe Jabber and The Last Divide. They'll be playing a couple tunes for us, and then Dumb Shit with Don shortly after that.
Dumb shit with Don.
Be back in just a few minutes.
Let's have that be a little clip there. Dumb shit with Don.
I love it. I agree. What's up, Candy? Hey. Oh, they will totally. Yeah, we need lots of bumpers.
I think so. I mean, it's at 200. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't want me to take a bite of the head of Joe.
It should be special. I'm gonna bring it.
Oh, I know. I thought that's what he was getting. Man, I kicked it without going. Yeah. Morning. Oh, yeah.
Where are you going? And what you plan to do when you reach that age, girl? Oh, all you know. 'Cause you can go, but just don't leave me. 'Cause I don't know how I'm still breathing. Just don't leave me. 'Cause I need to feel your heartbeat. Every star is a sunset somewhere. Somehow I can feel the earth start when I'm with you. Maybe, oh maybe you'll find something for you. 'Cause some of the fears have died away. 'Cause you can go, but just don't leave me. 'Cause I don't know how I'm still breathing. Oh, you can go, but just don't leave me. 'Cause I need to feel your heart beating. 'Cause if you find me, don't ever leave me. If you find me, don't ever leave me. If you find me, don't ever leave me alone. 'Cause if you find me, don't ever leave me. If you find me, don't ever leave me. If you find me, don't ever leave me alone. 'Cause if you find me, don't ever leave me. If you find me, don't ever leave me. If you find me, don't ever leave me alone. You can go, but just don't leave me. 'Cause I don't know how I'm still breathing. Oh, you can go, but just don't leave me. 'Cause I need to feel your heart. 'Cause I need to feel your heart. 'Cause I need to feel your heart beating.
Welcome back, everybody, to Big and Bigger here on Cave Radio Broadcasting, episode number 200. Everybody, I can't believe it. It seems like it's been like 199 episodes in the making. I want to thank my mom and dad for bringing me into this world. And well, I'm sorry, that's not what I wanted to do.
We didn't win the Super Bowl.
I want to thank you, Jesus.
We're not going to Disney.
No.
We didn't win the Super Bowl.
What do we win?
We're just fat.
You won the 200 episode award.
You won the 200 episode award. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the two guests that we had on our very first episode have combined forces tonight. And Mark Pasman is playing percussion for Joe Jabber in The Last Divide, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever here on Cave Radio. And you played acoustically.
Past Jammermania.
Pat, there you go. Paz Jammer Mania. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Jabber in The Last Divide.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Always got somewhere to be. Lots of chasing me. Rock and roll.
What do you want to do?
Hard Times in the City, about Detroit. 1, 2, 3, 4.
'67 was the riot, burned down in flames. Heat was too heavy, so we moved far away. It was hard times. Whoa, hard times in the city. Politicians use the name of God, pickpocket your soul, throw the keys to your castle, and foreclose on your home. It's hard times. Whoa, hard times in the city. Whoa. Oh, oh,
You got one more?
We got one more.
Got one more for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Jabber in the Last Divide.
Get the hell out of here.
Like I said earlier, Joe is probably our second. He is our second most frequent guest here on the show, and we love you, man, and thank you so much for not only being our first, but our 200th also. Yeah. Love you guys, man. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Jabber in the Last Divide.
What's the show we're gonna do after this? What's it called?
Dumb Shit with Don.
Dumb Shit with Don. Hey. All right. Wait and come on. That's coming on next. Let's get the hell out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah!
Kick the
Joe
chair over.
Jabber!
Love it.
In the Last Divide. While you guys, while you
Marty
guys
McFly
were on,
kicked over the amplifier.
Gonzo said, "Hey guys, Pete, Nagy, hi Aaron, Joe, motherfucking Jabber."
Rock and roll.
And Alyssa Kanga says, "Sounds fantastic."
All right, Mark, you should be required to play with every band that comes in here instead of that drum set. It's such a cool sound in this room.
That's right. Give it up for the Pasman
really neat.
on percussion.
Yeah. Sitting in.
All right, we gotta keep on.
Rock and roll.
All right.
Actually, you know what? Let's
Yeah.
take a real quick break.
All right.
When we come back, thank you, Joe Jabber, and the Last
Thanks,
Divide
Joe.
for hanging out. We got to get some pictures with you guys. We're going to take like a 6-minute break, maybe a 7-minute break. When we come back, Dumb Shit with Dawn. Episode number 200. Yeah, there it goes. Do it one more time.
Dumb shit with dumb.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here on Big and Bigger K
I'm
Radio
getting mar- I'm-
Broadcasting.
I cannot name this, I cannot explain this, and I really don't want to. Just call me shameless. I can't even slow it down, let alone stop this. And I keep looking around, but I cannot top this. If I had any sense, I guess I'd fear this. I guess I'd keep it down so no one could hear this. I guess I'd shut my mouth or think a minute. But I can't shut it now, 'cause there's something in it. We're in a room without a door, and I'm sure without a doubt they're gonna wanna know how we got in here. They're gonna wanna know how we plan to get out. We better have a good explanation for all the fun we've had. 'Cause they're coming for us, baby, and they're going to be mad. Yeah, they're going to be mad at us. This is my skeleton. This is the skin it's in. That is according to light and gravity. And I'll take off my disguise, the mask you met me in. 'Cause I got something more for you to see. Just give me your skeleton. Give me the skin it's in. Yeah, baby, this is you, according to me. And I'll never avert my eyes. No, never compromise. So never mind the poetry. We're in a room without a door, and I'm sure without a doubt they're gonna wanna know how we got in here. They're gonna wanna know how we plan to get out. We better have a good explanation for all the fun we've had. 'Cause they are coming for us, baby, and they are going to be mad. Yeah, they're going to be mad at us. I gotta cover my butt, 'cause I covered another man's wife. I got to divide my emotions between wrong and right. Gonna get to see how close I can get to it without giving in. I get to rub up against it till I break the skin. I get to rub up against it till I break the skin. They're gonna be mad at us. They're gonna be mad at me and you. They're gonna be mad at us and all the things we wanna do. They're gonna be mad at us. They're gonna be mad at me and you. They're gonna be mad at us and all the things we wanna do. Just please don't name this. Please don't explain this. Just blame it all on me. Say I was shameless. Say I couldn't slow it down. Let alone stop it. Say you just hung around. So you couldn't top it.
And then the last thing we're going to talk about before we get to the band is Beijing, China. You know, when you go to the zoos, you walk around and the animals are in cages and enclosures and stuff like that. And unless you fall into a gorilla cage, you're not going to get mauled by a gorilla or a tiger. But when you go to those like wildlife preserves, the animals walk right up to your vehicle.
Yeah,
and,
jump on 'em and shit.
Yeah, and everything. And lady in Beijing, China, had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the trip. So she decided to get out because she saw a building that she thought might have been a bathroom. Well, there was a tiger about 10 feet away from her, and it grabbed her and drug her away and ate her like yesterday's dinner.
Oh, hold on right here, guys. I gotta go potty. I'll be right back. Holy shit, this guy is tiger got me by the rag. This is not good. This is not good. Call 911 now. Please call 911. Oh, he's eating me now. This is not good. I swear, no.
Oh, that isn't a Rady's room?
I should have hold it. I knew I could have hold it until we got home. This is crazy.
What did the people in her car do?
Holy shit, they're eating her.
I would think
This is not good. Call 911. Don't open the door. I swear to God, it's bad. You know, don't go out there. If you got pee, hold it till we get to the parking lot.
I would venture to say the people in the car peed without leaving the car.
Right. I'm so scared I pee my pants right here. I don't have to get out no more. That's a good thing, but she's bad. This is bad for her. Is this your wife? Oh, you all right then. You happy. Good for you.
Wow.
This is good for insurance purposes.
Boy, this fucking took us.
Take some pictures so you have proof.
This took a turn for dark comedy there.
No, seriously, it's bad.
I had to have a Chinese
Does that
story.
mean I should take
Asian
my wife
story.
to an open air zoo and encourage her to go take a leak?
Yeah,
in a
baby.
Exactly.
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 Oh, look at the majestic animals running around. They're so pretty. You should go poop right there. It's good for you. No, seriously, don't hold it. It's bad for your health. You get bad stomach ache. Go poop now. I love you, honey. See you when you get back.
Drive off.
Okay. Oh, quick, go. They gotta go now. No, go now. Don't wait. You can't save her. She's too far gone. Go now.
Try. He's dangerous.
Go back to the store. I got concession money. I want to get souvenirs. Let's go. Don't worry about my wife. She be fine. She very resilient. She get through a lot of things in her life. Go now. Trust me. She'll be back Tuesday with a broken leg. She'll be like, oh, fine.
Broken leg.
Everything fine. Oh, it ate her? What a surprise. I had no idea. What a shame.
I thought she was going to have a fresh wound.
Yes. Hold on. It's okay.
Holy shit. That was good, man.
It was sad. I got people crying in the studio. She cried. It was so sad. I tried to cry too, but I was laughing too hard. That's what you get. You try me like shit in the morning. You won't make me egg? We in a hurry? You got to get to the safari? Go poop right there. What a great
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Slovakian trap cone.
That's correct.
It is one of those. It's an anal butt plug that's shaped in a cone that is super small for men, Czechoslovakian men.
What?
Czechoslovakian. Czechoslovakian.
From Czechoslovakia?
Czechoslovakia.
That's Madonna.
It's time for Dumb Shit.
Welcome, everybody, to Big and Bigger, episode number 200.
Dumb Shit with
here
Dawn.
on Cave Radio. Dumb Shit with Dawn, everybody. Hi. Wave to your fans. Wave to this camera also, to the other fans.
I'm not even on that camera, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, hold on. There you are.
Oh, yeah, there
Now
I am.
you are.
Hi.
Hi, Dawn's fans. Thank you, Dawn.
It's like the biggest. She's the camera
She is.
over there checker girl.
She needs to.
Why?
See a peek.
I don't know why I
every
want to
week
do
she's
that.
like, look, it's still on the logo. I'm like,
Jesus, I
"What a
can't
delay."
see
So
it.
you need to take over this.
Yeah.
No.
That way you can.
We'll be looking at the ceiling the whole show.
Someone's ball hole
Right.
in their pants.
Right.
Mike's
real
Dude,
close
when
up
it's
shot.
hey, look, when it's staring right at you
Yeah.
and there's a protruding red ball coming out of this worn out piece of jean, you look at it. You just
Oh, it was
do.
mesmerizing. Like once she told me it was there, I was like,
Wow.
It's
got a smiley face tattooed
It's
on
like it was rough.
all right, Dawn, you ready?
Yeah. Oh god.
All right.
I forgot.
We got 30 questions for you, Dawn.
Oh.
30 questions. These range from 3rd grade level to about 7th grade
I'm not
level.
in 3rd grade anymore. Just saying.
All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. In Bambi, the character Flower is what type of animal?
It's a skunk.
Very good.
Boom.
Boom.
One.
There's
Call
one
me
for you.
Flowers.
One for
See what
one.
they do? They
Okay.
make me feel good.
Okay. Yeah. What creatures took over the boat in the movie Madagascar?
Madagascar.
Which type of creature took over the boat, the ship that was bringing everyone back to Africa?
Oh, the penguins.
God damn it, Nagy. She would have got it.
Penguins.
All right. They only get harder from here, Dom. Okay. Name 2 of the 3 countries that made up the axis of evil during World War II.
The axis of evil.
Okay, that's
during
misleading.
World War
Axis of
II.
evil was a George Bush term.
Deuces.
The Axis powers was World
Axis
War II.
powers. All right, my bad.
Axis of evil was Iran and North Korea. That's a different question.
Okay.
So
Encyclopedia
I'm here-
Augie.
I got you.
Yeah, Encyclopedia Augie. So name 2 of the 3 countries that were the what?
The Axis powers.
Axis powers during
Axis
World War
powers
II. World War
during
II.
World
not
War
tour.
II.
Evil access power.
Japan.
That's 1. There's 2 more. Or do you need 1 more?
German.
Boom. Look at
E.
you. Do you know who the 3rd one was?
The only accent you're allowed to use in the show.
It's not Greenland.
Chinese.
Actually, they were our allies in World War II.
Yeah, they were our allies.
Italy.
Italy was the...
Oh,
was the third.
Italians. That's right.
Mussolini.
We don't know if they're from Boston. Wait, how'd you say it?
I don't know if they're
I'm
from
not
Italy
a
or
good
from
Boston.
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not a good one of those. I'm a R roller.
2 for 2.
Yeah, she likes...
3 for 3.
She
3 for 3.
She likes to speak Mexican.
Yes, that's right.
is how
Kind
she
of.
says it.
What she says, yeah. She's
Okay.
fluent in Mexican.
Speaking of Mexican, which country did Mexico gain independence from in the 1800s?
What?
Which country did Mexico gain independence from in the 1800s?
Cuba. Is that a country?
Yes, it's a country.
Yes.
The
But
United States.
No.
Canada.
Spain.
Spain.
That whole speaking
Are
Spanish
they
thing.
like close to each other? Spain and Mexico?
No, they're like sort of on the other side of the world from each
And
other.
how did?
We'll talk later.
All right.
We're going to
Give
have to
you-
kill the volume to Dumb Shit with Dawn. It's going to be picked up through the phone because batteries die.
Oh, okay. All right. The largest number pronounced with a singular syllable is what? The largest number pronounced with a singular syllable.
10.
It's a good guess, but it's wrong.
I don't know. A single syllable.
So, like,
Like 1, 2, 3, 4,
going.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 is 2 syllables.
and then the next number
It's
is
12.
Err.
that was wrong.
Hard.
A
God.
ladybug is which type of insect?
Beetle.
Gonna do 30 of them?
Wow.
Pat's like,
I know.
is he really going to do 30?
Who did the U.S. buy territory from in the Louisiana Purchase? Who did they buy? The Louisiana Purchase was purchased from which country?
France.
Nailed it.
Ew, man.
She's not drunk enough for this.
I know. And I didn't get her high before here either. What is a pentagram?
It is a shape.
You're not entirely wrong. You're not wrong.
You have to
It's
give
a
her credit
symbol,
for that.
technically.
I'll give you half, unless you get it the full. But what is a pentagram?
A 5-sided shape.
You're in the
Five-
ballpark.
Pentagram.
You're in the ballpark.
You got 3/4 of the question right now.
Okay.
It's a 5-sided shape
Building.
of a bug. I just saw a bug.
The shape of.
I think she gets.
What
full
does it
credit
look
for this.
like? Let's do it that way. What does it look like?
What does it look like? A shape, a 5-sided shape.
It's a star, a 5-sided star.
Star.
All right, a
Does it look like a
I
star?
vote full credit on that one.
It's technically an upside down star.
It is. It's Motley Crue's symbol. A caterpillar changes and grows into a what?
Butterfly.
Ooh. Okay. That one you didn't get. We're giving you 3/4 on that one.
Okay.
Who was known as the King of Jews?
Jesus.
Wow.
Mikey would have said Neil Diamond.
If the president dies or is removed from office, who takes his place?
His wife? No, the vice president.
There you go.
It's the vice
I'm going
president.
to give you half on that one, too.
The wife is already in office, trust me.
Right.
What kind of fur is a mink coat made out of? What kind of fur is a mink coat?
Mink.
Nice. So proud of
Try
you.
chicken on that one. That was good. All right. Who allegedly blew Bill Clinton while in office?
Oh, that's that chick. That's he poked her with a cigar, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't know what happened.
Lanica?
Lanica?
Sound it out.
She was Caucasian.
Monica Loads.
Loads. Yeah,
That was what he called her.
Taking loads.
She took loads.
God, what is her
All over the
name?
dress.
You're there. You're on
Load.
it. You're all over
You're
it.
so close.
I
You
don't
come so
know.
close,
I don't
man.
know her last name.
Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky. I'll give it to you because
Lewinsky. Wasn't that the skater?
That's Tara Lipinski.
Tara Lipinski.
Oh.
Monica
La
Lewinsky.
Monica.
La Monica.
All right, we'll give you that one.
Yay.
What actor played Billy the Kid in the Young Guns movies?
Oh, God. That was that Lou Diamond Phillip guy. Chinese. No. Yeah. No.
He was
I
in
don't
the
know.
movie.
Tonto.
He was in it.
Is
He
he
was in it.
Tonto?
He was in India and he wasn't Tonto, but
Oh.
Yeah, and he's not Chinese.
Wait, who
either.
is Tonto?
he's not Chinese.
There's no Tonto.
There's no Tonto in Young
That's
Guns.
Lone Ranger.
Oh.
Who played the character Billy the Kid in the Young Guns movies?
Young Guns movies. They rode horses in the dirt.
He's a hell of a hockey coach
Pulled
on
out
movies
guns. Oh. What?
too. Yeah, it didn't help. You did it.
No, don't
It did
help
for
her.
a
That's
second.
just- no clues. No clues.
Augie
Young Guns. I'm thinking of the movie.
Yeah.
There was
He played the same role in Young Guns too.
Emilio Estevez.
Oh.
That's who it
Wow.
was.
Great
Sometimes.
hit,
I,
Augie.
you know, who I was thinking of what's the dude that has AIDS?
Magic
Isn't that
Johnson.
his
Shut- don't,
brother?
don't say anything.
Isn't that his brother? Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels is
No.
Emilio Estevez's brother.
Charlie Sheen.
Sheen.
That's not a question.
No, it actually was.
Oh,
going to be a
shit.
question
See?
later on.
See? Augie,
29
damn it.
questions.
Sheen.
So I'm going to have to give you that one.
Yeah.
Because it was whose dad is Martin Sheen besides Charlie Sheen? It's Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. 'Cause
Thanks.
you would have got it. Because
You're
you-
welcome.
yeah.
Thank you.
Where was golf first played?
Mar-a-Lago.
On a course.
That's
Like in
Okay.
somebody's backyard, they made a course.
Like who invented it? Like
We're looking for a country
What
here.
nationality?
Yeah,
Okay.
which country?
Looking
Which
for a country.
nationality?
Which country
Invented golf.
That would have to be somewhere hilly,
Actually,
like
is.
Green Hills, right?
Ooh.
And it's not Greenland.
Holland,
No.
You're in the right part of the country-ish. You're on that side.
Ireland,
You're so close.
Dublin,
Still so close.
Scotland.
There you go.
Scotland.
You don't get that, though.
My grandma's from Scotland.
Who played Dr.
play golf?
Evil in the Austin Powers movies?
Austin Powers.
You're technically not wrong. But who played Dr. Evil and Austin Powers?
How about no?
No.
Austin. Oh, Mike Myers.
There you go.
The FBI, the DEA, the ATF, and Homeland Security are all examples of what? What are they? What are those four organizations considered?
Oh, you're just leaving it right there?
You're not feeding me any more information.
All right, say it one more time. I was waiting for more.
The FBI, DEA, ATF, and Homeland Security are all examples of what?
Security?
Nah, but that's not the answer.
Government. Police?
Federal law enforcement is what they are. I'll give you a quarter for that one because it took you 3 chances to get to it. This is something that Augie can immediately tell you once you get it wrong. What is gerrymandering?
Begging.
Dude, she's not wrong.
Well, she's wrong.
Yeah. What? Give me one more guess. What is gerrymandering?
Gerrymandering.
You're on the right path.
Say it one more time.
What is gerrymandering?
Mandering.
Country of origin?
Gerrymandering.
Yeah.
Gerrymandering. Is that
that
a
an
name
adjective?
of somebody?
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
No. Augie, what is it?
Gerrymandering is drawing the lines of a district, a political district, for political gains. So, like the Republicans are in charge of drawing the lines. So they draw in certain areas where they know Republicans live, so they can win it.
Which is why we have the president we have. And
Yes. So it's manipulation of the voter lines for a specific purpose. Instead of it's supposed to be by like using county or natural boundaries. We're supposed to be squares and have water as your boundaries, as square as
What's the
possible.
word again?
Gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering.
And there's all
cheating.
And the reason I brought it up is because
right
it was a huge, like, we voted on it.
We just voted to have an independent commission start redrawing all the lines, so
Yeah.
it takes back in geographical. It's like they would draw lines so that one party could never ever lose, and then they
cheating,
or they would,
political cheating.
like put little corners
All
of
right,
Detroit
all right.
in.
She's
so
starting
that
to smoke.
They could never win. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
She's starting to smoke.
Who was Ricky Tikki Tacky or Tavi? Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Ricky Tikki Tabby is a cat, an alley cat. No. Oh. Is he a thief? No. Maybe. No. Ricky Tikki Tabby, a singer?
Man, you're so far away from where.
Open up for Ricky Martin.
NASCAR driver.
NASCAR driver.
Ricky Tikki Tavi was a cartoon mongoose. Back in
it's one of the classic books in
70s,
literature. It's an old.
I don't know that one.
Really?
Yeah. Tiki Tabby was a mongoose. Yeah.
Okay. You got that one. What is a parallelogram?
A parallelogram is
It's
two
a-
lines that are even.
No, that's parallel.
Okay.
What is a parallelogram?
It is a shape.
Yeah.
Two lines, one's got a limp.
Two lines, parallelogram. They're all even. Like these sides are even and that side's even.
It's a four-sided rectangular figure with opposite sides parallel. So
That's kind of what
It's a
you just
rectangle,
said, huh?
basically.
it's a shape, though.
Yeah.
You're right. I'll give you it. What is a
Close.
dolphin
I'm
classified
close.
as?
A what?
What is a dolphin?
Porpoise. Is it a porpoise?
What's the purpose of this question?
It's a carcass. A
What is
carcass.
a dolphin classified as?
It's not a porpoise.
Porpoise and dolphins are
Yeah,
pretty much
you
the
don't
same
classify something as a porpoise.
Yeah.
You're classified
It's
as
a fish.
thing. No, it's a mammal.
It's
It's a mammal.
mammal.
Does not lay eggs.
No,
It does not lay eggs.
you didn't get that one right. You didn't get that one right. All right, just a couple more here. Who was Magellan?
Oh.
It was the person in the commercial with them gelling feet. She was Magellan.
The guy in the Dr. Scholl's commercial.
The Dr. Scholl's commercials. Magellan was
Like
a
a felon.
goddess.
Goddess? No,
Magellan. All right. He was a singer.
no. He was a Portuguese explorer.
Gelling in the waves.
What did he what did he
He
find?
just pretty much discovered the
Portugal?
West Indies, all that area down there. All right, just a couple more here. What continent? No, that one's not it. What is claustrophobia?
Oh, small tight spots.
Fear of.
Fear of.
All right, what is the nickname of the U.S. flag?
Star Spangled Banner.
No.
That'd be a good one.
Very
though.
close.
It actually is. One,
Um,
but I
Is
know
it?
what you're going for. Yeah.
No, that's the national anthem.
The Star Spangled Banner is our flag.
All right.
It's a stretch.
No, it's not.
I don't know.
On Jeopardy, they give you probably full credit for that. Or,
Yeah?
Or Old Glory.
Old Glory, I think is what they're looking
Old
for.
Glory is what I would. Old Glory, Stars and
Old
Stripes,
Glory.
Red, White, and Blue. I would have went for any of those. All right. What is the most spoken language on Earth?
American. English.
That's actually the third.
French.
How many? There's billions of these motherfuckers out there.
Chinese.
Chinese. Mandarin Chinese is number one, followed by Spanish, English, Hindi, and then Arabic are the top 5.
Mexican was a far 8.
Yeah.
Mexican was
What
a big
are
parade.
What are you doing if you're playing Rochambeau?
Oh.
Riding a bull.
That's a good answer, but no. What are you doing if you're playing Rochambeau?
Soccer. Rochambeau. Football.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rochambeau.
I thought it was when the 2 cartoon kids in South Park kicked each other in the nuts.
Rochambeau.
Hey, screw you guys.
Screw you guys. I'm playing Rochambeau.
I hate you, Kyle.
Let's see, 2 more. What are Apollo, Mercury, Freedom, Gemini, Challenger, Columbia, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour?
Well, I knew that 2 of them were rocket ships, so they all must be.
Yeah, good job. Those are all spaceship
Challenger
programs.
and
My nicknames in college.
All right, and then the very last question
Augie?
here on the 200th episode of Big and Bigger.
Bring it home, Don. Bring it home.
What continent is French Guiana on?
The continent.
Which
is
continent is French Guiana? Is it how you spell it? Say it? Guyana, I think it is.
North
Guinea.
America.
Man, it's so close.
Asia. Europe.
South America.
South America.
South America is the answer.
It was kind of close.
It was. All right. Al, say goodbye to everybody for us. 1, 2.
Goodbye,
Wait,
everybody.
they wanna know how
Dawn,
good I
Say
did.
goodbye to... What?
They want to know how good I did.
All right, so there was 30 questions. Last week you got 13.
This week I
This
got.
week you got 12. And that's with the half. Actually, you got 12 and a quarter.
Consistency.
Yeah. So you're
Like
you're-
the first 12 and a quarter.
So
and then it all
almost
fell
half
apart
still.
after that.
I had an extra one. If you had 15 right, I had an extra question. You want to do that real quick?
Yeah, she does.
What does the Panama Canal separate? What does the Panama Canal separate?
Or connect.
South America and Mexico. North America.
Damn.
She's technically not wrong. That and it's also connects or separates the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, bonus
good.
quarter point. I got 12 and a half.
Yay, me!
Say goodbye to your fans, Dawn.
Bye.
Thank you all for participating in Dumb Shit with Dawn. We'll be right back. We got more with Mark Pasman. Nagy's here. I think he might be leaving. Aaron's here.
Hey.
And we got story time with Uncle Augie. We're going to learn a little bit about Mark Pasman, though, because we didn't really get to go in depth with him when Joe was here, and it's been a little while since we talked to him. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to Big Shit with Dawn.
The big shit he's taking in the bathroom right now.
200th episode of Big and Bigger here on Cave Radio Broadcasting. Be right back.
Hi, everybody.
Did I
This
just
is
say
Frank
that?
Turner,
Yeah, you said
Cave Radio app for iPhone and Android mobile devices, sponsored by McNose Cafe. The Cave Radio app is free, easy to download from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, and is the best way to listen to all your favorite hosts and programs on caveradiobroadcasting.com. Don't be chained to your desktop or trying to open a browser window on your smartphone while you're driving down the road. Get the Cave Radio app and put the power of everything you love about Cave Radio at your fingertips. With the Cave Radio app for iPhone and Android, you can listen to live shows, catch up on your favorite podcasts, and connect with our great sponsors like McNose Cafe. It's like carrying everybody from Cave Radio around in your pocket without having to worry about what we're doing in there, if you know what I mean. Get the Cave Radio app today. One word, Cave Radio, CAVERADIO. The Cave Radio app for iPhone and Android. Get it now.
Stumbling through the parking lot gracefully. She had a certain kind of grace, you see. Headed for the barroom lights and looking for some fun. Her mom watched the kids so that she could go dancing with a couple of the women she knows. They were looking for some action. She was looking for someone. There's always one to buy her beer, one to take her away from here, one that says after tonight, well, I ain't free. Ones that come and ones that go. There's one more before my heart it knows. There's one who was the only one for me. He used to bring her here on Tuesday nights, buy her shots of whiskey till her head felt light, play all of her favorite songs on the record machine. But it had been a while since she'd heard those songs, a little while longer since they'd gotten along. She had found a new way around and a new routine. There's always one to buy her beer, one to take her away from here, and one that says after tonight, well, I ain't free. There's ones that come and ones that go. There's one more before my heart it knows. There's one who was the only one for me. Sometimes just to touch their hand, she'd have to get real stoned. And although other times she figured it was better than being alone, there's always one to buy her beer, one to take her away from here, one that says after tonight, well, I ain't free.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Big and Bigger here
Yeah.
on Cave Radio Broadcasting.
Yeah, welcome back.
Talking about the Cave Radio golf outing while we were on break. And what a great time, man. You know, we've done a lot of cool stuff. We've had a couple anniversary parties. This is the third golf outing we've had. We've done charity stuff. We've done little get-togethers and all that stuff. And I think the golf outing is by far one of my favorite times. I didn't get to golf last year, but me and Mason showed up. I was fresh off a heart attack and didn't think 18 holes would be
Hey, we do the Hamtramck Open. It's 9 holes at Chandler Park, and then we're out of there.
See, 9
like that.
holes is
To me, that's perfect.
Well, for me, that's right when I'm getting loose.
Yeah.
I
You know?
agree. I enjoy the 18.
Yeah.
Well, I think your boy and his girl got loose on like the 4th hole.
Shout out to Scaife and his girl.
I wanted to see the pictures.
Guckle.
As always, thank you, Dawn, for being ever so gracious to let us kind of poke fun at you. And
Of course.
but you did good. You're getting there. Her average. She
learning.
wants to get half, and you're getting closer every week.
Except for this week.
Except for this
Took a
week.
step back.
Well, you know what?
Like
You
a quarter
don't-
point. She was at 13 last
Hey.
week.
Right.
I want to thank
I
Joe
still
Jabber
try.
and The Last Divide for coming in. Aaron is our only holdover. Mike Nagy, Pete Peltier, and Joe for coming in and hanging out with us. Joe was our first guest, him and Sharon, back in the day. November 7th, 2014 was the first date that Al and I went on. And it's been a glorious 4.5 years.
I would say Joe is probably one of the people that we've met over the years that I'm the closest to. That
Yeah.
you know, he's just an awesome.
He golfed
human
last
being.
year with us, and we nicknamed him Toe Jabber.
Yeah, he's got the
because
hugest
he's got
toes
muscles
you've
on
ever
his
seen.
toes. Like he goes, and his toe just
He
pops
picked up his golf bag with his toe and threw it on the cart. I was like, Jesus.
Damn.
No, he wore flip flops last year, and it was like he's got some. As you would probably guess by his voice, he's got some huge toes. So, but no, Joe is like one of my favorite people in the world. He's a great guy. So, I mean, Joe is a guy that him and I will talk on the phone, not about music or the cave or whatever. You know, he called me when I was going through my divorce. He called me after my dad died. I love that guy. So sweet.
And
sweet
that's
dude.
the cool thing about Big and Bigger is each and every Sunday we get to hang out with a new group of friends.
Right.
Because by the time they leave out of here, other than maybe 1 or 2 shows of the 200 we've done, we've left having friends in these bands or these actors or comedians or authors or business owners or just regular everyday people, promoters, anything. We've
Firefighters.
Firefighters. Yeah, we had the chief of fire from Hamtramck in here.
Yeah, Danny Hagen.
Made me cry.
Yeah, he's Saint Danny Hagen. He's a great guy. All his charity work.
But this cat that I'm about to introduce, he talked a little bit earlier. He was, I don't want to say he was my mentor, but when I was going to Specs Howard, you gave me a little push in the right direction. Mark Pasman, the Pasman, who for 25 years you heard his amazing voice on 94.7 WCSX, and he's been gracious enough to hang out with us for the second time. 999 episodes later.
Yeah, here I am.
So
nice to be
thank
back.
You, thank you
Welcome
for,
back.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us, and thanks for filling in for Joe Jabber.
Sure, anytime.
His
Yeah.
guitar player, or
Sure.
his drummer couldn't make it up, and
yeah.
you gracious. You said you were like, man.
It's my new side thing. I've been really developing. I'm doing playing with Top Cats. I'm doing percussion as well as guitar. I've always done percussion in the studio and on live shows, and just something I wanted to develop. So when you said Joe's drummer wasn't coming, I said okay. Yeah. But it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to bang on, and then it dawned on me one of the greatest live shows ever I heard on the radio, WDET, back when Martin Van Dyke was having live bands in their studio, and Los Lobos was in there, and it just sounded great. I punched in the middle of a song, and I go, what is he? It's not a drum set. It's not bongos. It's not. What is he hitting? And so I pull over. When's the last time, other than when you're listening to this fine radio show, do you pull over into a parking lot and just sit there and listen to radio? It was so compelling. And I was downtown, so like Los Lobos was like 2 blocks down there playing this. So they were kidding around after the song and making fun of the drummer, and apparently he went out in the alley and grabbed a trash can lid,
Wow.
brought it in. So that's what I did tonight for Joe. I went out in my backyard and found an old can. Boom, sounds
That's
great.
the smallest trash can that I've ever seen.
Yes,
by the way.
I had the right sound.
And the load-in is awesome.
Much
with
better.
that,
Yes,
yeah.
no setup, baby. I
a
love
duffel
it.
bag with a couple sticks and tambourine.
That's the
and
way
a-
to go at my age. I'll
and
tell
a
you.
tin trash can. It's been a few years since you've been on here. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. When you were first in here 4.5 years ago, you talked about you had just started working with the Mr. B's.
Yes.
You opened up, you helped open up a blues.
We had a
place
nice
called
blues room there for a couple of years. Yep.
And you did that, and then things happened, and life changes, and people see different things, and you went a different way, and now you're doing something at O'Mara's. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm always out playing somewhere, but I'm kind of a home base kind of guy. I like to have a place that feels like home. So I just happened to a friend of mine. Well, I actually a fellow teacher from Specs Howard. She's a big. She's got the Dirty Girls, and she does this great comedy routine with all these ladies. We do really well on this program. You should have them next time they're around.
Who are you talking about?
The Dirty Girls.
But who are you? Which instructor?
Heather is my gal.
Okay.
She runs the thing. I'll hook you up. Anyway, she says, I'm doing this thing down at O'Mara's, which is, not far from my house. I went to Berkeley High. I kind of hang in the area. I'm a homeboy. And so I went in and talked to him, and I ended up with a monthly gig there, and we've been having a good time and been working on a new record. And we're
going to play a couple tunes as we leave out of here. And you're a producer.
Yeah, I'm staying busy doing a little bit of everything. Anything musical will do.
So earlier in the show, you kind of said something, and it triggered a memory. And I remember walking into your office, and you were like, when you were a teacher at Specs, and you were like, you're too nasally. You got sinus problems. You need to go get, and you told me to go get shots and do that whole thing because you had the same problem.
Same problem.
So I went and did that for a little while, and it really didn't work or whatever. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it. I like my voice. Chicks think it's sexy. I'm done. Whatever. No, not anything against Mark because it did help me because it opened me up and I could talk better and all that stuff. But I was like, I like this voice, the nasally kind of whatever. It's Midwest. It's Michigan. But I remember a picture on your wall, and you brought the name up earlier, Domino.
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little bit about Domino and what you had to do with Domino.
Yeah, Domino was one of my favorite projects. I was program director of WRIF in the late 70s, early 80s, if I remember. And so we had a funny morning show on the radio with a very clever man, George Byer, who did the Bruiser and the Bruiser Band. And so I was the Bruiser Band. I got into radio because I was between bands. This is what I do. When I'm between bands, I get a radio job. So once I get a radio job, I try to find an excuse to play music. So we did the Bruiser Band album. We did several of those. It was great fun to take our favorite songs and just make them funny or dirty or ridiculous, whether it was we turned Cars by Gary Newman into bars, Catch a Good High, instead, a lot of great tunes, very funny. We did the Fat Cat Strut instead of the Stray Cat Strut. And I remember one day, because I was also program director at that point, so the Stray Cats are in town. They're doing an interview. They come in, sit down in my office. I says, we just did this parody song. I want to play it for you. We hope you like it. So I play in the Stray Cat Strut. And Sets are sitting there, and the other guys are looking at each other, and they're smiling, but they have this really puzzled look on their face. And Setzer looked pissed. So I took it off. This is me taking the... off of it, yeah.
It was
for
a
those of you
record.
who don't, that's a turntable for those of you. That's what they're for. They're
You're
not
on
for
video, so
wicca.
people-
It's you take that thing over there. And Setzer goes to me. He says, "Hey man, that's not cool. I mean, it sounds great, but that's not cool." I go, "What do you mean? How can it be great and not cool?" He says, You stole my tracks and put some shit on there. That's not you. You need permission to do that." I go, "I created every track by myself in a studio. Thank you very much." It was one of the greatest compliments I got because he was pissed. He thought I had stole his stuff, and no, I had.
He thought you actually took
I had
his
taken
sample.
his actual track. This is before sampling.
Oh,
He
okay.
thought we just took his tracks and put the vocals
you
on
actually
top of
played
it.
the music
Yeah, that was
note
the
for
fun
note.
for me going into the studio. This is before we all had studios in our houses. So very busy, but the musical stuff always pulls me. So we started playing with this. I always had this great idea of taking like a Seeger rock and roll band and put it with the Temptations up front. That to me is Detroit. That sounds like that's a band I would like to see.
Right.
So we found these 4 guys singing a cappella. We said invite them over to the house, and we'd start kicking some shit around, and it sounded great. And they would come over, and they would want to do like a soul version of a Van Halen song, and we would want to do a rock and roll version of a Temptation song. So we met right in the middle. The band caught fire. So now I'm program director of Riff. I got one of the hottest bands in town, and back then you could not be in both ends of the business at the same time. It's not like it is now.
Yeah,
and they started telling me they're going to fire me if I don't get out of the band.
Because
I started wearing. Because they thought, I
You're gonna
use
play
my
their music.
influence to play my own band on my own radio station. Duh, I'm not that dumb. But anyway, it got weird. We were playing in costumes. Then we started having subs. And then I came home one day and I told my first wife, I said, this is nuts. You know what I should be doing. This band's about to get. So every musician friend of mine said, you're going to quit program director of RIF to go play in a band in the corner. They thought I was out of my mind. But, you got to do where your heart goes. So I followed it. We had a great run. Once again, like Mud Puppy, we got that close. We opened for Seeger at Pine Knob. We were open for Ashford and Simpson at Pine Knob. We won Star Search, which was the
American Idol
of the day.
Yeah.
We won the local, then we won the regional, and they were just about to send us out to Hollywood to become famous, and they killed the group category, which is why, they don't do groups anymore, do they? It's all single singers. So anyway, then the boys discovered crack cocaine. It was an ugly end to a beautiful thing, like all great
the first
rock
5 minutes of our
bands.
show, a couple of them are in jail.
But we got airplay and all that, and we were this close. It was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was really wonderful. And then I was broke again, living in my folks' house, so I got back in radio and started CSX and the Blues Show, and that's.
Got to
I
meet a lot of
started
cool-
Mud Puppy, and I got out of programming Riff again. I tend to repeat myself, but as long as I'm banging on something, making noise somewhere, I'm a happy guy.
You're a percussionist tonight, but your instrument of choice is the guitar.
I play a little of everything. Guitar I've spent the most time with. I really like the
I
drum.
saw you and Pete in here earlier. You ended up getting on Pete's guitar and playing it a little bit. You were
it's a sick.
I saw you jamming on the Reverend, fucking around.
Well, on these demos you hear tonight, I played every noise on there.
Yeah.
Keys, bass, percussion, everything. I love it.
The original David Grohl, huh?
All
the instruments on the album?
That's a nice to be compared to. He's one of my idols.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That cat's heavy.
Who now? We only got. We don't. Is Rudy coming in tonight?
I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. Being on 94.7 for so long, 25 years. I mean, every week, 52 weeks a year. You didn't take a day off.
Never.
You worked Mother's Day. You worked Christmas. You worked Father's Day. You worked everything. Who was the guy that you thought you were going to meet and be like, God, this guy just seems like he's going to be a dick, and then you were like, wow. This is the coolest cat I've ever met. I still talk to him to this day, type thing. Is there any story like that you could? Because I mean, you used to do all the stuff at Memphis Smoke.
Yeah,
you used to host all those events there.
Well, that was the greatest thing because it was once again similar to this. Only we did it in the club, and that's how radio shows used to be. And we'd have a live band, and I would host the show. We'd play some records, but then we cut to the stage and we'd play live bands. It was just fantastic.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You should look into that. I'll help you with that. Similar, I guess the name that comes to mind is I had the great, I've interviewed some of the greats. I've been such a lucky cat in that regard. Bo Diddley. So back in the day when I used to help promote, when Detroit was smart enough to have blues festivals in Detroit, they don't do that anymore. Are you listening? So we had a great one, and they were at Hart Plaza back in the day, and that was the year we had, and luckily they're still all with us. We had Bo Diddley, Albert King, Larry McRae was just starting out then.
Oh, wow, he's huge.
Savoy Brown, just so many big names. So, as the host, and I was taping interviews with all the guys backstage, and I wanted to talk to Bo Diddley. He's one of my heroes. He invented tremolo, so he's not only just a great player. Plus, think about it. That's the Bo Diddley beat. He's the only cat in the world that has a beat named after him. Hello.
Right.
So he's done playing. He's holding court at his locker, and he's just in his T-shirt, and he's looking at me, and I had made the request, and he just kind of giving me the stink eye and talking to everybody else. I'm sitting there with my little microphone waiting there, and he calls me over finally at the very end. He was very brusque. It was not a pleasant interview. So the next time we did a phone interview live on the air, and he's older, and he knew who I was at that point, and so we had kind of a nice talk. And then about 4 or 5 years later, just right before he passed, we had another chance to chat, and I don't know, it was the familiarity or what it was, but he was so warm.
Third time's a charm.
Well, he was so warm, and plus he had come to his place. You got to remember, all these cats, whether it's Chuck Berry or any of especially the black musicians, they all got fucked bad in this golden age and made all this magnificent music that we all just revere to this day. They got screwed. A lot of them never made it. Made a living. Let alone
someone else
the money
got rich
they
off of
deserve.
those hits.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Right,
a lot of
right.
other people got rich
And
off those hits.
A lot of white cats. Okay, let's face it. A lot of management and labels, and the whole story. But Bo was one of those guys. He got screwed every which way. He got screwed on the trademark for inventing tremolo. He got screwed every which way. So I don't begrudge any of these guys their anger, but he got to a different place in his life, and I think he knew he was getting near the end. And we had the warmest, most delightful chat I've ever had with anybody. And he told how he invented tremolo and all these inside things that he had never. Most of the interviews had been, your general, where I'm going to be next week, and my new record's coming out next week, and it was great. So I'd have to say Bo Diddley because I always felt bad, because not everybody you revere musically or whatever is going to be a nice person. It's just the odds aren't with it.
What's funny is Second Sundays with Augie is it's I think our 4th month that we've been doing it. And the last 2 times we got Mark Pasman. The last time we had Melvin Davis.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way I'm going to jump in.
He just looked at me. He was like, "No story."
Like, no, we're going with the Pasman stories. My little stories of running into presidential candidates and getting drunk with them in hotel rooms in Dallas are all right off the table now.
I don't know. I like that.
And that's the greatest. I
got 3
thing.
of them. So.
The greatest thing that I take from each and every Sunday here is that we get to meet people like you and talk to people like you who've seen it all. You've heard it all. Over probably 40 years in the music business.
I try not to count, but somewhere around.
You know what I mean? And we're hovering on 5 years. You know what I mean? And we think we've seen it all. You've seen everything. You've seen the rise of the Detroit music, and you've seen the fall of Detroit music, and you've seen all that stuff happen. And
let's face it,
commercialization of radio.
I was blessed because I got in the golden age of radio, right when consultants and those fucking algorithms were just starting to make their ugly presence known. I was starting to move out of radio because I could see that was coming. I mean, I remember at Riff, they flew this guy in from New York to be our consultant. He sits in a hotel room all day, listens to the station, then you meet together. You know how the shit goes. So he comes into the office. He says, well, first thing you got to do is tell this idiot in the afternoon, Arthur Penhallow, stop saying baby. I don't know why he's saying baby. It doesn't make any sense to me. And why do you play so much Van Halen? And how much do you play so much Bob Seger? I don't care. Just all this crap that proved the man did not know the market, did not know the music, and this was going to be the guy I was going to have to answer to for the rest of my career. That's when Domino started making a little more sense to me. So, I've been lucky because radio. I'm not saying there isn't good radio being made today. Most of it on the internet.
I'll say it.
And I tried to listen to radio on the way over here. I can't even fucking do it.
Listen,
What is
Al says it all the time, and I can't even remember when I told him this, but he was like, yeah, and I've been telling him for probably 4 years
in
now.
the very beginning.
I do not listen to. If I listen to music, it's talk radio,
right?
And
Sports
that's
talk,
barely
usually.
sports talk radio, and that's
Right.
only to catch up on today's
Right.
things, and then it's right to my iPod
Right.
or my phone or Spotify or whatever.
Plus,
because
if
I
everyone's
can't-
got their favorite X amount of songs in their hand, what do they need? Somebody on the radio spinning the same songs back to them.
Apologies
It
to my
doesn't-
cousin Phil Kukwinski, the program director in Afternoon Drive Time at Alt 105.1 in Louisville, Kentucky, who often listens to me on this podcast. So you're all right, cousin Phil. We still
Well,
love what you're doing.
You know, I'll listen to the morning show sometimes to
Listen,
get a laugh. You know?
You got to take all my radio statements with,
No, and Paz, I'm right with
They're,
you, dude.
they're all earned.
Yeah, I mean, we did it to ourselves. We did it to ourselves. The internet came in and they started tearing their hair out. So what are we going to do? Be entertaining.
Right.
Give them a reason to turn in. They don't need to tune in to hear
The same
Jump
Led
from
Zeppelin
Van
song
Halen
at
for the
11:05.
800th time. They
Exactly.
have that in their fucking
Yeah.
phone. Come
Yep.
on.
Yep.
It's just they forgot that you have to entertain.
Yep.
That's what whether you're playing in a band, you're on the radio, these people are coming to you because regular life sucks.
Right. And so you put
And-
all these together. You put
Gotta go.
authors, actors, comedians, magicians, musicians, everything. The number one thing is entertainment.
Yeah.
So why? And all commercial is how many commercials can we get in this hour? And you saw it. I saw it. I saw it at an earlier age. You were there for 30 plus years. And then you saw it, and I mean, you made a career out of it, and they fucked you. And
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I had a lovely career, and the ending wasn't
the
so
end.
great. Yeah, yeah.
in the end, they fucked you.
Oh yeah. Well, you'd like to have a final show at the very least. That's the only. I mean, it's. I told the guy. I said, "Look, this is your radio station. This is your
Let
Sunday
me say
night.
goodbye. I remember
If you want, if you want to change, make a change here. I can dig that. I've programmed. I understand. I don't agree, but I understand. So I'll say goodbye. It'll be a great show. We'll have Seeger and blah blah. They weren't interested. So that's all right.
Shame on them
Yeah.
because Paz, I can say this unequivocally for at least 4 because Aaron's like 19 years old. I don't know.
25.
I'm just kidding. But
Samesies.
but we all grew up listening to you and respected you, and I took your advice to heart that you gave me in school and at Specs Howard, and I tell these guys all the time. I go, that was I could have saved 10 grand and just went to a radio station and said, hey, teach me for free, but you can't do that. You know what I mean? And Specs Howard was an avenue into that.
Right.
And I remember Dick Kernan, the very first day of school, coming up to me and saying, he's like, there's 60 of you in this classroom right now. In 2 months, 30 of you will be here. It's
the speech.
In a year, only 5 of you will be left. In 5 years, only 2 of you will be left. Whatever. But he was like, he goes, mark my words right now. Radio, as we know it, is changing. And you knew the speech. You probably heard it 100 times.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You might even have gave it once or twice. But and that's why when my sister told me that she was doing internet radio, I was like, internet radio? What the fuck is that? And I bought a microphone and a board, and I haven't looked back since. And it's, I don't get paid to do it, but I'm having a great time, and we get to meet amazing people like you, legends in this. And I don't use that word lightly.
kind.
It's
Thank you.
you're a legend in this town, man, and we appreciate your insight and your help and all that stuff, your wisdom. And
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for coming in
Well,
on our
thanks
200th
for
episode.
supporting. Anybody who's supporting Detroit musicians, I'm always right there.
That's the biggest thing is no one else has an opportunity to do that these
Yeah.
days. FM radio doesn't. You get a couple that'll do maybe 1 or 2 songs at noon.
Yeah, maybe.
But for the most part, it's not like it was decades ago where a local band could come in and say, "Here's my demo. Will you play it?"
That never happens.
No.
And unless you catch lightning in a bottle like Greta Van Fleet, or I know you don't like them,
Gimmick.
but and then you got Autumn Kings, who 89X loves, but they're a Canadian band. It's a Canadian station,
Right.
And Autumn Kings have been in here a couple of times, and we support them and all that. But like you get like the Homeboy Show, which was they'd play a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and every once in a while, like Leaving Lifted was playing a couple weeks ago on one of the local stations, and the Lows have gotten radio.
The Homeboy
play.
Show was my cousin Phil, who did that.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah, that's PK.
Oh, there
He was
you
on
go.
89X. Yeah, it was him.
right.
Okay.
And so now he's out in Louisville. So that's
Cousin Phil, huh?
That's
All right,
PK
Cousin
on air.
Phil.
He was on with a good friend of mine, Kelly Brown, who was in here, and I forgot to mention her and Greg and Nip because that was one of our favorite shows.
Yep.
Was those two coming in here and getting reunited after 15 years of not seeing
That was the
each
one I
other.
couldn't make it to. That was the Magnum PI party one
Yeah.
that you had Conrad and the rest of the guys
Yeah.
here. But
Lucifers for the first time.
Gnip is going to do the Magnum PI party again this year.
Is he?
We have a date, August 16th. Will be the Magnum PI
If you're not doing
fundraiser.
anything August 16th in Hamtramck, they throw a Magnum PI party every year.
right.
Wear a Hawaiian shirt, a tiger hat. We sell the mustaches, $10 for cancer charities.
I love it.
Raffle some stuff off.
Great
Gnip
idea.
DJs. I
All
like.
right. We got to make way for Cruising the Barrio. It's 9:45. We've been on the air for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we got to get the fuck out of here. Again, I want to thank Joe Jabber and The Last Divide.
Yep.
I want to thank Mark Pasman for hanging out. What's that? Yeah, we're going to play yours music heading out. And I'm going to have you introduce it and all that stuff.
Oh, no.
No.
It's your job. You're the DJ.
Yeah, but I don't know anything
Have him
about it.
do just a little coming up next story time with Uncle Augie, and then I won't worry about being bumped. I won't feel bad at all.
I want to thank Augie for coming in and always supporting Cave Radio. Thank you for hanging out with us yesterday at the golf.
Oh, I had a
outing.
blast. I always
It was
have fun
funny.
with you guys.
We
Thank
did a six'em for a few minutes. It was
Yeah.
my four golfers and Augie and him, and then the group behind us was kind of being assholes. And they're like, "There's 6 of them," and I was like, "Why don't you guys go?"
We were all going to wait the same amount of time because
Right.
we had to sit there and wait anyway. So, it didn't really
But anyway, it was a great time. Weather didn't really cooperate. It was chilly and a little bit of rainy at the end, but we all had a good time. And I want to thank all 76 or 77, 78 people that showed up and hung out with us. Cave Radio has been.
We'll be back there. We'll be back.
Oh
at
yeah, that place
course.
was nice.
That was.
It was
I liked
nice.
it.
The
It was
greens,
fine.
the greens were fucking crazy.
it was.
But
It wasn't too hard. It didn't make you. You didn't lose a ball every hole.
almost 60 years ago, Dan and I and Rich and Brad had a dream about starting our own radio station, and here it is. And 200 episodes, big and bigger. 180 episodes of Just Roll With It. We got another show coming up here. Talk Nerdy to Me is going to be celebrating their 200th episode.
Bikes just did
Bikes,
their
Babes, and
200.
Booze just had 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Cave Radio is all about giving back to the community and supporting local music, supporting local artists, supporting local businesses. We're a small family-owned business, and that's what we like to support. So thank you all for listening over the last 5.5 years, almost 6 years coming up. And thanks for all the support that you guys have given us. Augie, thanks for coming in. Second Sundays.
Thanks for having me, guys.
it's good
I was
time.
just thinking back to that first time you messaged me. Hey, I got another show.
Yeah.
Would you like to come on and talk about Hamtramck? I'm like, oh, he remembers me from when he worked the board, and I did that other show.
Where his one of the guys knocked down every sign down the wall.
Oh, he got
And
up
then-
wearing the headset,
Yeah.
got up and started walking, and then bounced off the wall. yanked every-
So it's daylight out, right? So we sent him outside. He's laying on the curb out there, and next thing you know, we get a phone call. My man's missing. Like, where is he? I'm at a bus graveyard. Well, right over here, used to be an old elementary school called Roosevelt, and it's where they park all the buses, school buses. So I'm like, I know right where he's at. Sent him over
Went
there.
and found him sitting on a curb, high as shit. It was still daylight.
It was like
a
7
Friday-
o'clock.
yeah, it was a Friday night, right?
That
when
was
you guys were-
Wednesdays, I think, is when.
Was it on Wednesdays? That was
It
the
was,
Hamtramck Labor Day
it was
Festival
Mike
over here
Sickadu's
promoting.
show.
Oh my God.
Mike's on Happy
Mike's
Hour.
on Happy Hour.
He's at a bus yard graveyard.
I'm at a bus graveyard. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I know where he's at. He's right over there.
Yeah, we brought a full crew in here.
He's only been gone 20 minutes. He can't be far. But thank you always for supporting us and hanging out with us. And
Happy to be here. Thank you guys. I had a lot of
I'll
fun.
be at the whiskey in a couple weeks. I got to make my monthly stop in there.
Cool.
So, Aaron, thanks for coming in and hanging out
Hey, thank you.
with Joe Jabber and The Last Divide and hanging out after the whole band left you here.
You're welcome. I rallied for everyone. I
You
got
did.
you
You
guys.
did. Mark Pasman, thank you for always supporting us and coming
got
and
it.
hanging out, telling your
Always.
stories. We could sit here for another hour and talk to you,
Easy.
but I know it's getting late, and But like I said, we have openings for shows here on Cave
Okay.
Radio.
I'll let you know.
The manager's kind of a dick, but besides that,
It's him.
Yeah.
Next month we'll do the presidential stories.
Sure.
For story time with Uncle Augie.
All right.
Thank you again, everybody, for listening. 200 episodes. I named off all 145 bands that have been through here and hung out with us. And next week makes 146 because we got another new band coming in and hanging out with us. And the story just grows from here. So, on behalf of Al and Dawn, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Mark, you want to take us into the next?
Yeah, I got a couple of tunes that I've been working on. The first one you kids will recognize, an old Sonny and Cher gem. And the other one features my new great lead singer, Scott Zanni, who's also singing in my classic rock project, Top Cats. And it's a song called Todos Son Todo, which is Spanish for everything. Everybody is everything. And I've been thinking a lot about, the separating being promoted in this country and walls, etc. So this is kind of my fuck Trump song without being direct about it, as I just was. So we hope to have both these tunes in the live set. I'll be at O'Mara's this coming Saturday with Bobby Murray Blues Band, who are just fantastic, and Phil Hale, so come and see me.
Very cool. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me,
and
buddy.
hanging out with us. Thanks, everyone. I didn't really get into it earlier, but we broadcast live every week on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live. We're live on Twitter, video. I know there's a lot of hiccups and everything, but I get stoned and forget a lot of stuff, so I do apologize for that. Dawn reminds me as much as possible. But again, thank you to everyone who tuned in, whether it be via www.crbradio.com or the live apps or our apps, which you can download on the iPhone or Android phones and get us every single week. Sundays, 7 to 9:30 p.m. ish, right here on Cave Radio, episode 200 in the books, man. Love you.
Congratulations, guys.
Great guys.
200.
The beat goes on, fellas. The beat goes on.
Here we go.
Snap.